Are you seeking applied learning opportunities that will prepare you for your future? Classes taught by experienced faculty? Do you want internship opportunities that will launch your career? Then the College of Business at Ferris State University is where you belong. With 23 accredited programs and 122 degrees, you can advance your knowledge in unique majors such as esports production, music and entertainment business, and hospitality. Experience excellent placement rates and become a career-ready graduate. Start your journey today at ferris.edu/business.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog Football pregame coverage right here on Sunny 97.3, and of course online at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you. Where the Bulldogs and the Storm both back in the locker room here to talk it over one final time before the national anthem is played and the official announcement, of course, of both teams coming back to the field. Sandy, some keys here for Ferris State to find a win over Lake Erie tonight.
Well, I think a great start is going to be really important here for the Bulldogs tonight. I think offensively a great start is going to be important. And whether they come out establishing the run or they come out using the pass to try to get things going downfield, whatever they choose to do, I think it's going to be important that the Bulldogs get off to a strong start. So the Bulldogs definitely want to take a big step forward offensively here in this game. Key number two, I'm really looking for offensive line dominance. I think the Bulldogs need to be dominant in controlling the line of scrimmage here in this game against Lake Erie. That opens up everything for this offense. If the Bulldogs are controlling the line of scrimmage, that makes time for the passing game to develop. That makes time for the running game to be dominant. And the Bulldogs want to be running downfield as the game gets into the third and fourth quarters. So that's going to be really important. And then lastly, I think for the defense is don't lose the intensity. I mean, keep things going. The Bulldogs had a great performance last week against Pittsburgh State in a loss. But at the same time, they all thought that, hey, there's room for improvement. We can continue to grow. And I look for the Bulldog defense to be even more dominant, getting pressure on the quarterback and really containing the running game. This is a Lake Erie offense with a lot of new faces. This is a Lake Erie team with a lot of new faces. And the Bulldogs defensively want to make sure they control that line of scrimmage, get to the quarterback, and stop the run.
Ferris State coming into this game looking for a victory here tonight to even its mark at 1-1, as it looks like our national anthem is going to be played right now at Top Tiger Field. We'll take another 2-minute break. We'll come back, and we'll be back within 10 minutes of kickoff for Ferris State and Lake Erie after this timeout on Sunny 97.3.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris Forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
It's not easy being an athlete. At Ferris, we do things others will not. We push boundaries. We get up when we fall, again and again. We put in long hours. We don't quit. We do what it takes. That is why we are champions.
At Ferris State University, we value collaboration, working together towards greatness. Diversity, embracing our differences for better understanding. Community, building engaging campus experiences. Excellence, inside and outside the classroom. Opportunity, you can make your dreams a reality. Move forward, Ferris Forward.
It's all under
yards. It's current.
Looking for a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Come to Big Rapids.
With 7 different brands in one great name, the Baker
at the Baker Auto Group.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage right here on Sunny 97.3, the Bulldog Sports Network, of course, live in the Flint area as well on Metro Flint News Talk Radio. Thanks to those fans tuning in over on the east side of the state. Of course, we'll have the video stream as well on Flow Sports. Part of the GLIAC streaming package. I saw the GLIAC commissioner, Chris Dunbar, here in attendance today. We've got Tony Nicolette from D2Football.com on hand to watch this Bulldog team. We'll have him as a special guest coming up here at halftime.
Yeah, it's always exciting. Commissioner Dunbar, of course, makes her way around to the different GLIAC schools as well to support not only football, but also with cross country going on here today, lots of things going on, and great to see the commissioner and of course Tony Nicolette. Always excited to have him in the house, and we had some of his colleagues from D2Football.com last week in week 0 when we were over at Pittsburgh State, and they do such a great job covering D2 football.
Ferris State back in the locker room. The Bulldogs will come out and take the field here shortly as the fans continue to come into the stadium here. Should have a good crowd here. Lake Erie, not a whole lot of support on the far side, as expected, as the Storm out of Painesville, Ohio, former member of the GLIAC and now a member of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference, picked to finish 10th in the GMAC preseason poll, and they're hoping to climb this year after a 1-10 finish a season ago.
Yeah, they're certainly hoping to do better than that preseason projection, but certainly the Bulldogs hope that doesn't happen at their expense, at least in terms of their non-conference. They're talking about, of course, the poll is with their conference play, but they're a program that right now a lot of unknowns in this program, and that combined with their record last season, probably a good reason why they were picked where they were. But at the same time, it's all upside for them. I mean, they've got a chance to they get 1 win, they equal, they get 2 wins, and they double. So for them, they're just trying to see where they can get wins.
I think they had the first touchdown promotion down on the field. I saw Bulldog softball coach Jake Schumann, his wife, who's one of his assistant coaches, Sharon Schumann. They had their 2 kids down there. I think they might have scored the first touchdown of the season here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's got a little rise from the crowd right there. See President Pink down there, Tyler Schuberg, former Bulldog student athlete and great supporter of the program down there as well.
Of course, he'll be involved with the coin toss, part of the Schuberg Insurance coin toss that'll take place here at Top Tiger Field over the course of the season. You mentioned Coach Schumann. He's got a great nucleus coming back, had a young team this past spring, and we talked to him yesterday at the sports luncheon at Three Girls Bakery, and he's expecting some big things out of some of the incoming kids he has coming in.
Yeah, he is excited. Coach Shu and Coach Sharon, and Coach K, they've done a great job of really, revamping this program, and they feel really good. And, the freshman of the year, one of the best freshmen in the nation they had last year on the roster, and they feel like they got some more good freshmen coming in, and these players are getting experience. And so, expectations are continuing to grow at Bulldog softball, and that's a program with a really strong history at this university, so it's good to see that program starting to come back.
Of course, may not feel like softball season here tonight, but it is softball season still. They have a fall season, and they'll play some games, so get out and check out Ferris State softball when they're at home here this fall. I just saw the first person of the Bulldog staff come out, none other than defensive coordinator Ryan Hodges, who we had on the Bulldog Blitz show the other night, and he certainly is ready to go. He's going to have his defense energized here early on.
Hodges is always ready to go, man. Hodges is intensity personified, and he's already out there, got his headset on, and he's ready to go. But I don't know if anybody embodies the defense more than Coach Hodges. And he knows the tradition of this program. He knows the history of this program. He played in this stadium, not necessarily on this turf. They had grass, I think. He might have had turf near the end of his career. But Coach Hodges, certainly high expectations for his defense. And, he's going to be always one of the first ones out here getting ready.
Of course, we mentioned the Bulldogs have 12 or 13 guys from the Flint area. These games being carried all season long on Metro Flint News Talk Radio. And Coach Hodges, one of those guys from Montrose.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Denise, of course, coached at Montrose at one time, so a lot of support over there in that area.
No, there's no question, and it's great to be able to bring Bulldog football out there because not only do we have a history of guys from the Flint area, not only do we have current guys from the Flint area, But, future-wise, we're going to be looking to that area, to that region for more recruits coming ahead.
The Ferris State Bulldogs gathering in the Bulldog head across the field as we get ready for the Bulldogs to take the field here at Top Taggart Field for the first time here in 2024. Here come the Bulldogs as Ferris State takes the field. We hear from the pep band, the student section on its feet down in the south end zone, and we got the red smoke blowing as the Bulldogs looking forward to playing in front of the home fans.
Oh, they are excited. The red smoke is flying around, and the band is getting going. Of course, moving toward having a marching band getting going, and the numbers are growing. Dr. Daniel Atwood doing a great job of building that band at Ferris State, and boy, how exciting is that going to be in the future to add to what we already have.
Mentioned the Bulldogs wearing the red jerseys, the black numerals, and the gold trim. They've got the white pants on here tonight, kind of a traditional look with the red and the white here at Top Tiger Field. Last week, of course, the Bulldogs broke out the new white uniforms, and we'll probably have them in the black next week. We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out.
We'll see. The red tops with the white pants is a combination I don't think we've seen very often. So when I saw your football graphic there that had the uniform selections, actually I heard Coach Anise talk about it earlier this week in practice, and I'm like, that's cool. That's a little something that we don't see very often, but any look is good for these Bulldogs right now, and they hope to match their play with the good looks.
Of course, me being originally from Nebraska, to Nebraska Cornhusker fan, I like the red and the white look. Reminds me of the days growing up with the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Hey, I tell you what, and Rob's Huskers have got a big game today here as Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs, one of the great rivalries in the nation, going to be taking place.
Bulldog captains down on the field right now as we wait for Lake Erie to return here to the stadium about 4 minutes before the opening kick. Bulldog captains starting to gather at center field. It looks like Brady Rose and Tyrese Hunt Thompson going to be two of the captains. I think Cepha going to be one of the defensive guys, along with Victor Nilsson, it looks like, here for Ferris State tonight.
Absolutely, guys, getting ready to take the field. And, of course, Ferris State with the best photographer corps in the country, we believe. A couple of those photographers out there right now, and I know there's some more on the sidelines, so always great to have those outstanding photos that we get after the game.
Tyler Schuberg, along with President Pink, going to come out here for the coin flip tonight as Lake Erie's captains will make their way out as well. We'll be back with the opening kick. This has been the Johnson Automotive Pregame Show, back in 60 seconds right here on Sunny 97.3.
Like 15-cent black copies, along with...
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Want to be a storyteller? The Television and Digital Media Production program at Ferris State University is the create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
Are you seeking applied learning opportunities that will prepare you for your future? Classes taught by experienced faculty.
Everyone to Ferris State
internship
Football, the
opportunities
home
that will launch
season
your
about to
career
kick
in
off
the
here for the
College of
Ferris
Business
State
at
Bulldogs tonight at Top Taggart Field as the Bulldogs will receive, looks like here to start this ball game. So Ferris State getting ready to get the ball first here against Lake Erie, and we'll see what the offense could do.
Sounded like Lake Erie won the toss, and they want to go on defense first. So this Bulldog offense, coming back into this game after the Pittsburgh State contest, this Bulldog offense, they're not going to have to wait long to get back out here and to see where they are. And you know that you got to imagine that Bulldog offensive unit to a man is going to have a chip on their shoulders, and they're going to be ready with something to prove here tonight.
So Ferris State will get set here. Coach Brian Rock, assistant coach, down there on the field with his return unit here for Ferris State. The Bulldogs divide up the special teams among several different assistant coaches, each one kind of responsible for their own area. And you think special teams don't mean a whole lot to some programs. I see these guys having special teams meetings almost every day.
Yeah, that is not the case here at Ferris State. They know that the special teams are essential because they're the little things that can make or break you. You know, you're not prepared for a kickoff. You're not prepared for a punt return. If your kicking game is not on point, if your punting game is not on point, those are things that can swing field position in a big way. They can cost you points, let alone not let you put points on the board.
Waiting for Lake Erie to get ready to take the field here. They'll be wearing the dark pants, the white jerseys, and the green numerals, and see if the Bulldogs can get a quick start.
Yeah, I think that's going to be essential for the Bulldogs here in this contest. They're looking to make sure that they get themselves established, and I think a lot of it is going to start offensively since the Bulldogs are slated to get the ball first. Is going to begin with that offensive line. And can this offensive line establish dominance in terms of running the football and as well as protecting in the passing game to give the Bulldogs a little bit more time to be able to throw downfield? We saw last week Pittsburgh State able to get a little bit of pressure on the Bulldogs' passing game at times, and the Bulldogs weren't quite able to get that passing game going. But the Bulldogs hope, as the old saying goes, you make your biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2. The Bulldogs hope that's going to be the case here tonight.
The ball on the tee here as Ferris State has two back deep. Brady Rose on the near side. Tariq Brett, I believe, on the far side here for Ferris State as the kicker for Lake Erie tonight will be Jafar Murphy, senior out of Marion, Iowa. And we are underway, and it's a good one here at Top Tiger Field. That was going to bounce all the way through the end zone, and the Bulldogs will come out here to start at the 25.
Yeah, into that student section, and we would have been remiss not to mention a little bit more that the wind is gusting down on the field. It certainly was in the tailgate lot, so right there, Lake Erie had the benefit of the wind, not to say that it probably wouldn't have made it to the end zone anyway.
So the Bulldogs will start here as Ferris State opens up shop here at the 25-yard line. And the Bulldogs in the shotgun set here to start off the ball game with Trinidad Chambliss, I believe, at quarterback here for Ferris State. Man in motion is the Mario O'Brien coming around for the Bulldogs. Chambliss back to throw.
Got a man open.
Looking over the top. He's got Tyrese Hunt-Thompson into Lake Erie territory and down to the Storm 43-yard line.
Boy, Tyrese wide open, Rob. Good read by Trinidad Chambliss, and boy, that's got to feel good for Trin to get that start.
Bulldogs quickly right back up to the line of scrimmage in Storm territory, working against the three-man front here from the left side hash. Bulldogs will give it off to Cannon Ketzer, the Washington State transfer, who sneaks it down to the 38-yard line.
Well, we watched Cannon Ketzer during the preseason, and he just looks really fundamentally strong running that football, deceptively fast and tough between the tackles.
The Bulldogs with it, second down, call it about 6 yards to go here for Ferris State. Chambliss going to give it off again. A little hesitation move here, and Ketzer has it. Sneaks forward again, and he's close to a first down here at the 32.
Yeah, Cannon Ketzer out of Spokane, Washington, and right now showing that the Bulldogs right now getting a good surge up front, and Ketzer just following right behind that offensive line that's playing well right now.
Bulldogs have it first down and 10 here as they set up at the 31. Chambliss to throw. Quick strike to the outside to Hunt-Thompson, who turns it back inside and gets it down inside the 15-yard line. The Bulldogs move the chains again. A very efficient opening drive so far.
Yeah, Tyrese has had a couple of grabs, and I think both times he was thinking touchdown as he was handling that football, looking for yards after the catch.
Ketzer over to the right side of Chambliss here in the shotgun set, for receiver package here for the Bulldogs. Back to throw, Chambliss to the outside, hooks up with Amari O'Brien, good for 7 yards, down inside the 10.
The Bulldogs got him coming and going right now. That time going to the right side, Amari O'Brien finding that soft spot in the defense. Good delivery on the ball by Chambliss.
Ferris State up front. Jarvis Wyndham is the center here for the Bulldogs. Travis Miracle and Tim Anderson are the two outside tackles for the Bulldogs. I believe Bob Anderson and Lawrence Hittar are the two offensive guards up front. Second and short here for the Bulldogs as Chambliss will run the option. He keeps it. Touchdown Bulldogs! Chambliss into the end zone for the first Bulldogs score of the season.
Boy, great execution around the option right there as Lake Erie got pinned inside a little bit on the dive play, and then the Bulldogs run the option to the left, and numbers in the Bulldogs' favor. as the penalty goes against Lake Erie. That'll be declined by the Bulldogs, and the special teams unit will come out looking to make it 7-0.
Mitch Middleton to come on for the point after try here for Ferris State as Chambliss directs the offense. And the Bulldogs, something they could not do last week, move the football efficiently. They did that on the opening series.
Well, they look very confident there, particularly Trinidad Chambliss, and that drive had to feel good for him.
Brady Rose to hold, kicked by Middleton, is on the way and up and good, make it 7-0. The Bulldogs strike first with 12:49 to play here in this opening period of action.
Yeah, you just had to like what you see from the Bulldogs is special teams unit getting some high fives right there. And, boy, there is nothing not to like about that drive. Bulldogs really came out. The offensive line really established a tone up front, able to run the football, also able to pass block as well. And so the Bulldogs were able to pretty much execute everything that they wanted to do. Is they had basically a near flawless drive all the way down for a quick 7 points.
Big start here for Ferris State Bulldog football live tonight right here on Sunny 97.3 in the Bulldog Sports Network along with Flow Sports. Presented by the Holiday Inn thanks to Fox Motors, Meyer, Three Girls Bakery, and Remax for all of their support of Ferris State athletics. The Bulldogs move the football looks like that'll be about a 75-yard drive. They started at the 25, so Chambliss directs the attack, and Ferris State finds pay dirt. Had a couple nice completions to Tyrese Hunt-Thompson. We saw a couple runs inside. The Bulldogs really did it both on the ground and in the air on that drive.
Yeah, and that's the Bulldogs' first touchdown of the season, and I'd have to think if that is any indication of what's to come, it will not be the last of this game.
So Ferris State to kick it off here as the Bulldogs put the ball on the tee. I believe Middleton's going to kick it off here from the south end at Top Tiger Field. Kicking from the south to the north here in Big Rapids as the kickoff unit is out there here for Ferris State and head coach Tony Anise. So 7-0 lead here for the Bulldogs as Middleton puts this one in the air here. Going to be fielded back inside the 15-yard line. Bobbled, and Lake Erie no yardage here on the return as they are going to start at about the 16 or the 17 after they fall on top of the football.
Yeah, given that he muffed it, no gain is really a best-case scenario. That could have easily been a turnover.
So Lake Erie will come out here as the Storm will get their first offensive series of the night. Ferris State with the early 7-0 lead over Lake Erie here in GLIAC football action. And the Storm here at quarterback tonight will start Cade Rice, a transfer, started his career at South Dakota State, then went to Wolford, Division I transfer here at quarterback for Lake Erie. The tailback is Nick Mosley for the Storm, a 5'10 senior. And it looks like he'll get it here on the first carry and maybe got a yard at most here against that Ferris State front line.
Not much. Bulldogs stout in the defensive interior in particular, man. You got a couple of tough ones right up there with Deron Irving Bay and Victor Nelson right there. It's going to be tough to run inside.
5-receiver package here for
Empty
Rice
backfield.
as he drops back to throw, looking across the middle, and that one overthrown here, intended for Tayshawn Johnson. And the closest man there was one of the Ferris State players in the defensive secondary in Jacarvis Alexander.
Yeah, that was they went empty in the backfield there. Jacarvis Alexander, as you mentioned, the closest person right there, and fortunate for Lake Erie, it was overthrown from Jacarvis because he could have been looking at a pick.
Trips right side here for Rice as he stands in the pocket. Now we'll walk up to the line. Play clock at 15 here for Lake Erie. As the Storm back it away, and Rice will look back to the sideline. They're wasting a lot of time here.
They're getting short on the play clock here.
Down to 5 on the play clock as Rice will send a man in motion. Down to 2 here. He gets the snap. Back to throw, flush from the pocket, looking outside, and the throw a little bit high. And the hit was coming here as he was trying to hook up on the outside with Gideon Tafari Thompson.
Yeah, it would have been a tough catch, and probably heard the footsteps of Jacarvis Alexander closing ground quickly as that ball sailed out of bounds, and looks like the Storm going to go 3 and out. Bulldogs stand to get really good field position right here.
7-0. Ferris State will put Brady Rose back at his own 35, awaiting the punt here from Lake Erie. Lake Erie punter Daniel Jameson is a good one here for the Storm. 6-foot graduate senior out of Altus, Oklahoma. As he gets set, averaged about 38 yards a kick last year. This one short, though. Going to hop right at the Lake Erie 48, bounce into Bulldog territory and a roll down inside the Ferris State 40 to about the 37. So not a great punt, but he got a good roll, and the Bulldogs will start on their own half of the field.
Yeah, he certainly got bailed out right there, and that's the way the football sometimes bounces and rolls, and that worked a little bit more in their favor, but the Bulldogs still really good starting field position right here. Is that ball going to be spotted 1st and 10 at the Bulldogs' own 37?
So the Bulldogs will come out here on their second offensive series. Chambliss will remain on at quarterback here for Ferris State. Cancer to his left side, I believe, here in the offensive backfield. Twins to the near side here as they work from the left side hash. Ferris State going to look back to the sideline as that play call comes in from the Bulldogs sideline. Sun peeking out still here just over the press box at Top Taggart Field. As Cancer will get it on the carry here to the near side. Cannon trying to turn outside and ran out of bounds here out across the 40 to about the 41 or 42. The Bulldogs pick up 4 or 5 yards, and I'd like to see that out of the running game from the offensive backfield.
Yeah, good patient running there by Cannon Cancer as he was letting his block develop. He had Tyrese Hunt Thompson over there, and good patient running there by a running back, just a junior right now listed, but a lot of experience coming in that backfield.
Transfer from Washington State, one of 4 or 5 running backs we may see here tonight for the Bulldogs. Man in motion is Amari O'Brien, but Chambliss looking to throw over the top. He's trying to get it downfield, and it's hauled in by Cam Underwood down inside the 25.
Boy, I love them getting Cam Underwood involved. They actually had Tyrese Hunt Thompson coming over the middle shallow, but Trinidad Chambliss liked his opportunity to get the ball to Cam Underwood.
Underwood with a big reception, a guy that has been a valuable reserve. Now maybe a chance to step into a starting role here this season for the Bulldogs. Off the right side hash, the Bulldogs got to keep it on the ground. Cannon up the middle here, breaks a couple tackles and gets it down inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, they can see that Lake Erie is now feeling that passing game a little bit, dropping back in that 2 deep, and Bulldogs know that they can run against that. So the Bulldogs see that, and they're not going to be afraid to put that ball in the hands of Cannon Cancer or whoever's in the backfield running the football.
Ferris State right now dominating the game at the line of scrimmage here as the Bulldogs will send Brady Rose in motion to the short side of the formation. Chambliss to throw. He's looking over the top to the end zone and incomplete. They were trying to hit, I think, Tyrese Hunt Thompson over there in the corner.
Yeah, it was kind of ran out of real estate right there. We saw the official throw his hat indicating that Tyrese had gone out of bounds, and pass was not really going to be catchable anyway, as they were kind of trying to throw that fade into the corner.
Coming on here, the heavy package is Ben Pristula. Going to wear number 84 tonight. He's number 56 on the roster. Wore 89 last week in the offensive backfield. Wearing 84 here today, thanks to our guy Camden Lee, the equipment manager for Ferris State, for calling up that change here for the Bulldogs. It'll be Chambliss on the keeper. Bounces left side to the outside. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
Boy, that's almost unfair. That's like Madden on cheat codes right there as Trinidad Chambliss looked like he was fired out of a cannon.
4.5 minutes gone by, and there is the cannon from the north end zone as the Bulldogs 2 for 2 offensively and lead it by 2 scores here. The offense coming back with some big production here early on.
Yeah, and I love that we see a Trinidad Chambliss that is playing like what we know he's going to be able to play, and he's just going to get better and better. He is just scratching the surface of what he's going to be.
Middleton on for the point after. Sam Wahlberg is the long snapper. Rose to hold. Here is Middleton's kick. Splits the uprights. This one is up and good. Make it 14-0. All Bulldogs here in the early going.
14-0, and still 10 minutes, 23 seconds to go in the first quarter. So Bulldogs right now clicking, feeling really good about their position in this contest. And so really great to see the Bulldogs be able to execute not only in the passing game, but also the running game as well. And it's been great to see Cannon Cancer really get going as well, because his ability to run that football, the Bulldogs as a team, their ability to run that football is going to open up the passing game. And so we've seen the Bulldogs run some option. We've seen the Bulldogs utilize the passing game. We've seen the Bulldogs use a traditional running game. And they have really shown quite a bit of the playbook, a diversity of the playbook here so far in this contest. And again, we still got 10:23 to go in the first quarter.
Bulldog football presented by Northwest Chiropractic, thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings, Lake Osceola State Bank, PNC Bank, and Nutrition Force LLC, the official dietitian of Ferris State Athletics. Of course, a lot of work goes into the first home game. Didn't get a chance to really enjoy the Buffalo Wild Wings here in the press box tonight, but big thanks to the Carmody family, Jeff, Brian Carmody, tremendous supporters of the Bulldogs. Great to see Brian Carmody's daughter, Reese Carmody, with a big goal for Ferris State soccer the other day.
That was an awesome goal by Reese Carmody, and you know that Dad Brian and Uncle Jeff and the rest of the Carmody family had to be really proud of her.
Ferris State a 14-0 lead here as Middleton will kick this one. A little bit short here. Going to be fielded back at the 16-yard line as the Storm coming on the return. And good coverage downfield here by the Bulldogs as Jalen Jones was the man that originally tripped up the return man.
Good shoestring tackle right there by Jones to make sure there was nothing extra there as they tried to turn the corner and get upfield.
Back out comes the Ferris State defense as the Bulldogs here on the defensive line. Tonight, Jake Plamondon will check in. Tyrone Fowler and Arnold Sadov will be the defensive ends. Sadov wearing 49 tonight. Wore number 19 earlier in the year, but has shifted permanently to number 49 on the defensive line.
You said permanently?
Permanently, I believe.
All right, we'll see about that. Numbers change a lot in this era, but let's hope he has settled in right here. As the Storm trying to settle in, but to no avail.
Great job defensively by the Bulldogs up front. Victor Nelson and Sadov right there for Ferris State.
Boy, big Victor Nelson right there coming through like a machine there and just swallowing up that play before anything could even get going.
Second and call at about 13 yards to go here for Lake Erie. For ticket scores, merchandise, video, and more, be sure to log on to FerrisStateBulldogs.com. As the Storm will work out of the shotgun set. Twins to both sides here as they set up Mosley to the left side of Rice in the gun. Lake Erie in a 4-receiver package here as they work from the center of the field. Man in motion as Rice looks back to throw. Pressure coming again, and it's going to be intercepted by the Bulldogs. Back to the near side. Connor Neer with the INT.
Connor Neer, I tell you what, and we saw the Neer family out in the tailgate parking lot. You know they got to be electrified right now.
Threw it into double coverage. It was popped up in the air, and Neer hauled it down for the Bulldogs. He's got the turnover belt down on the Ferris State sideline as the Bulldog defense sets up the offense in great position at the 25.
Boy, the Bulldogs really struggled last week with turnovers and got to feel really good to come away with a takeaway right there.
Ferris State back to the line of scrimmage here as Cancer sets up left side here for Ferris State. Bulldogs in a 4-receiver package. Once more here as they start this drive. Rose in motion as it's going to be a keeper. Carson Golker in a quarterback, and he gets it down to the 22.
Yeah, they actually hit Carson and bumped him forward right there as he held onto that ball as he could have given it for the sweep but decided to keep it. Bulldogs 129 yards of total offense prior to that play, minus 2 yards of total offense so far for the Lake Erie Storm.
Of course, some of the fans questioning why we didn't see a whole lot of Golker last week. We expect to see plenty of him before this season's over. Rose with a nice catch here, spins forward and gets it down to the 20-yard line.
Well, the Bulldogs feel confident that they have two strong quarterbacks, and some of it, again, will depend on matchups. It'll depend on how things have gone in practice and who maybe has a better feel for that opponent, who matches up well with that opponent. But the Bulldogs are confident that they have two high-quality quarterbacks.
Golker in the gun here for Ferris State as Carson will set up the offense here. 3rd and about 5 here for Ferris State. Golker taking his time and now steps back to throw. Golker on the move. Looking upfield. He's got a man to the goal line. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
Boy, great presence of mind by Carson Golker, Rob, as he was getting pretty close to that line of scrimmage before he uncorked it and found his man for the touchdown.
Katzer in the end zone for Ferris State, was hit hard at the goal line but holds on, and the Bulldogs have made it 20-0. We're not yet midway through this first quarter of play.
Boy, smart play, too, by Cannon Cancer, Rob, trying to make sure that he got that ball across the goal line after the great scramble and throw from Carson Golker.
Ferris State on for the PAT once more. 20-0 here with 8:29 to play in this first quarter of action. Mitch Middleton on as Rose will hold for the 3rd time already. The PAT is up and it is good. Golker finds Cannon Katzer out of the offensive backfield for the touchdown, and the Bulldogs make it 21-0.
Well, you're getting a feel for how dangerous Cannon Cancer can be, and we had a chance to watch him throughout the preseason, and we knew he was going to be a good addition, and he's going to pay dividends, and you can see why he's getting that nod in the backfield right now and how well he's playing. We saw him do it in the running game, and we saw him right there in the passing game bailing out his scrambling quarterback.
Ferris State leads it here at Top Taggart Field as the Bulldogs so far entertaining the crowd. Great student section that's full down in the south end zone here for the Bulldogs, and some fans along the hill to the right of us down below. Also on the north end of the stadium as well, so good crowd on hand here for the season opener against Lake Erie.
Yeah, a lot of standing room crowd right there. We can see down the doghouse for the Gridiron Club is pretty full and looking good right here. A lot of fans here in the building, and wow, this is going to be just a fantastic night so far, and probably only going to get better as time goes on.
So Ferris State will kick it away here as Middleton puts it back on the tee. Again, kicking from the south end here at Top Taggart Field. The offense with two great drives to start the ball game. The defense gets the pick on the interception from Connor Neer, and a quick drive led by Carson Golker on the third series.
Yeah, you know, that had to feel good for Connor. I mean, to come back your first home game back in a Bulldog uniform after a year out at the University of Oklahoma, and you get a big pick that leads to a touchdown.
Ferris State boots this one forward here as this one going to be fielded here back inside the 15-yard line as Lake Erie tries to set up the return. They get a good return out across the 45. Here and on the return for Lake Erie, it was Joshua Jean Baptiste, redshirt junior out of Cherry Hills, New Jersey, and maybe a sign of life here for Lake Erie.
Well, they needed that, Rob. They needed something. You know, we talked about it last week for the Bulldogs, and when you're really struggling offensively, you're looking for a spark, and whether that spark comes from a defensive play or it comes from a special teams play. You talked a little bit about special teams and the importance, the emphasis that the Bulldogs place on special teams, and right there it gives Lake Erie College right now, special teams, easily their best starting position of the game.
Storm will set up here as Rice has it at the 45-yard line here for Lake Erie. Handoff in the offensive backfield, and Mosley, a nice little move here, shakes a tackle, and going to be thrown down finally at the Ferris State 47-yard line. So got some good positive momentum here to set up second and short.
Yeah, he was able to break some tackles right there before Jason Williams was finally able to wrap him up and bring him down.
So nice job offensively by Lake Erie's Mosley in the offensive backfield. Talented running back who's played a lot of football here as he'll stand back up. Of course, Lake Erie, some transfers, new coaching staff. You never know what to expect, and the Bulldogs have kind of withheld so far here against Lake Erie, 21-0 so far here on the scoreboard. Man in motion back to the right side of the formation as Rice will give it off to Mosley again, left side, and able to turn the edge and gets the first down. Their first down of the game down to the Ferris State 40-yard line.
Yeah, they were able to seal the Bulldogs inside off the left side of that Lake Erie offensive line, right side of the Bulldog defensive line. So let's see if maybe they feel like they're seeing something over there and they keep trying to run to that left side.
So this will be first down and 10 here from the 40-yard line. Big thanks to Pepsi and Gatorade for their support of Ferris State University Athletics. Rice in the gun with a man left side. Twins back to the right side of the formation here for the Storm. Mosley again, left side, same play, turns the edge again, and finally ran out of bounds close to another first down. They've kind of been able to turn around that left side of the Bulldog defensive line.
Yeah, we just talked about that maybe they see something over there because that play started inside, then he cut it back outside to the left side. So they're getting a matchup there on that left side that they like, and we'll see if Coach Smith and the rest of the defensive staff, they want to make an adjustment over there, Coach Hodges and the defensive staff.
Ferris State defensively in a four-man front here as the Bulldogs have four down linemen here on this next defensive play. 6:30 to play here in the opening quarter. It's still 21-0, but the Storm on the move. Mosley this time, nothing doing as Victor Nielsen wrestles in down for a loss here in the offensive backfield.
See Coach Hodges out on the field right there trying to get after his defense. And Rob, I think they were going to that left side again that time, but the Bulldogs got great penetration in the middle and stopped him before he could even get there.
Ferris State now here sets up second and call it about 13 yards to go here for the Storm as Lake Erie will line up with trips to the right side. One man left here for Rice as he checks the defensive set here for Ferris State. New tailback to his right side here as the Storm have kind of kept it on the ground here. Blitz coming to set up the screen. Ferris State reads that one nicely as the play was made right at the 31-yard line, and Jason Williams, the senior, on the stop here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good job by the Bulldogs to recognize the screen. Deron Irving Bay was putting the pressure on. That's a big man to try to throw a screen around, and the Bulldogs' second level coming in and making the play is Lake Erie going fast.
Storm right back to the line of scrimmage here, and it looks like we will have a timeout called. We'll take one as well as the Bulldogs have called timeout with 5:20 to play in the first quarter. Back in 60 seconds right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Hi, Greg.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris Forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog football coverage right here at Top Tiger Field. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you. Ferris State leading it. Lake Erie on third down here. Rice scrambling across the middle. Hooks up in the short flat. And going to be very close to a first down. They've got it at the 19-yard line, but we do have a flag back in the offensive backfield. We'll wait and see if this perhaps could be holding right near the yard markers here at the 34. It's going to be roughing the passer.
That's going to doubly hurt because they completed the pass. Madison just missed maybe getting a deflection or a pick. So the Bulldogs see them get the pass play completed and the extra yards from roughing the passer.
It was Johnson on the reception. Big reception here as they move it further into Ferris State territory. And they're going to have it, looks like first and goal from about the 9-yard line, just inside the 10 here. Lake Erie trying to take that 0 off the scoreboard here on the Bulldog defensive side. Rice in the gun here against the 4-man front as they'll give it off up the middle. Mosley nothing doing this time as the pile start to move backwards. Sefa Paia trying to rip it out here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's I know they can't totally go away from the inside run, but boy, it's just going to be tough. They're kind of overmatched on the inside. But they have had some success on the outside. Let's see if that's just to keep the Bulldogs honest.
4:30 to play here in this first period. 21-0 Bulldogs, but the Storm threatening here for their first offensive score of the season. This their season opener here tonight against the Bulldogs. So they're going with the power look here from the left side. One-on-one coverage back to the right side. Now they'll send a man in motion. Heavy back to the near side here on the offensive line. They're going to fake the give. Rice to throw, looking into the end zone and broken up by the Bulldogs.
Boy, great job. Jacarvis right there getting a right hand on that football and knocking it away.
So Alexander has made a couple nice plays defensively already here early on for Ferris State, and a key leader in that defensive secondary. Been great to have him back this year.
There's no question. What he adds to that unit is just tremendous right there. Ran a little play-action pass right there, trying to get the Bulldogs to bite on the run. But the Bulldogs did a good job of dropping back. Victor Nelson checking back in as well on that defensive interior right here. Big third down. If you're Lake Erie, you cannot come away empty-handed here unless you choose to go for it on fourth down and don't get it.
The Storm will set up here as Rice drops back to throw. Pressure coming to the outside on the screen. Another flag thrown as it's incomplete. Mosley saw the footsteps of Jason Williams close it in.
More than likely, that's going to be a hold against Lake Erie as Bulldogs are trying to get some penetration going inside. So they're checking with the Bulldogs to see what they want to do. Do they want to decline it or not?
And it will be holding here against Lake Erie. It will be declined by Ferris State. And now you got fourth down coming up. And the defense last week
they want the points.
Held the opponents to a bunch of field goals with the exception of the one touchdown. And here already have held once again.
You know, I talked about if you're Lake Erie, they were probably tempted to at least think about going for it here, but I don't think they want to come away empty-handed here. So they're going to line up for a field goal, a very short field goal.
As the kick is on the way, and it is up and good. So the short kick is up and good for Murphy, and the Storm are on the board, 21-3.
Yeah, Bulldogs did a good job of getting tough there at the end as the pressure was certainly on, but good drive there by Lake Erie. Showed some ability at times to be able to run the football, and Bulldogs did make some adjustments toward the end of that drive, kept them out of the end zone as they had to settle for that field goal.
Ferris State football action live right here on the voice of the Bulldogs, Sunny 97.3, and the Bulldogs Sports Network. Live coverage in the Flint area as well on Metro Flint News Talk Radio, and of course right here on Flo Sports as the Bulldogs will be back at home next Saturday night hosting the Ashland Eagles, a 6 o'clock kick here at Top Taggart Field. Tickets on sale now at ferrisstatebulldogs.com/tickets, and should be a great matchup. Ferris State and Ashland. You know, the Eagles had a tough loss in the season opener against a very good Indiana-Pennsylvania team, but they're a team that's always given the Bulldogs some fits.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, if you haven't been to a Ferris State-Ashland game, they are typically very good, very hard-fought games, two very well-coached teams, and so it should be a good one here at Top Taggart Field next week.
Ferris State leads it by a score of 21-3 here in the opening quarter of action at Top Taggart Field. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here for all the action tonight as Murphy will kick it off once again, and the Bulldogs have a couple new guys back deep here as this one's going to be booted all the way through the end zone, so it doesn't matter who Ferris State puts back there as there's no return.
Now when the ball is kicked to the end line in the goal line, so yeah, that's a great kick right there, and they certainly do not want to see the Bulldogs be able to return it. Now when they swap ends of the field, Bulldogs might get some return opportunities.
Bulldogs, some guys out there on special teams, some guys that really take pride in what they do. So Darian Kruja out there, a guy that's been around the Bulldog program for a long time. Braden Childress, we mentioned during the pregame show from right here in Big Rapids, among others on special teams. Golker in the gun as he stays in at quarterback here for Ferris State. The Bulldogs set up the screen. Katzer out of the offensive backfield, running right side, turns it back, gets it out across the 30 on a pickup of about 5 yards.
Yeah, Cannon, such a patient runner there, is letting the play develop there, and he'll get a little bit of a break as Bulldogs continue to substitute liberally as Bulldogs solid production on first down.
See some new guys at the receiver positions. Tariq Brett in for Ferris State. James Gilbert on the far side, along with Jeremiah Lee. Tay Boyd out there here is the outside target for Ferris State on the offensive side. Golker in the gun, looking right side. He's got a man, flag thrown, but the catch was made. Good for about 4 yards to Jeremiah Lee here for Ferris State, a junior back on the field this season here for Ferris State, and great to have him as another key slot player here for the Bulldogs.
Very talented player right there. I was going to say it was off, so it was against Lake Erie, so Bulldogs will take the first down as they continue to move forward. Markel King checked into that offensive backfield, and you mentioned Lee, just another talented player added to that Bulldog group out there, and boy, he's capable of making some nice plays. We haven't seen the best of him yet.
Ferris State first down and 10 after the 5-yard penalty, so picked up 4. They got 5 on the penalty, gained at 9 altogether here as they run the fake here to the near side. Golker's going to keep it here for the Bulldogs. Golker finds a hole. He's taken off down the sideline. 20, 10, 5. Carson to the goal line. Going to be marked out at the 1.
Oh, Carson turned on the Jets right there. He's a little banged up, though.
Golker
he's
down
hurt
in the end zone as he was hit hard, and Ferris State calling for the training staff. Hopefully nothing too serious here. Made a nice move down the sideline, found a crease, and almost took it to pay dirt. Is Dr. Daniil going to come take a look at him? Helmet kind of popped off. They're looking at the leg, and we hope this is nothing serious.
Boy, he's in a lot of pain, Rob.
Hushes kind of came over the Ferris State crowd right here after the big run from Golker. Guy that's not been prone to injuries here for Ferris State has really kind of been like Jason Vanderlaan was at quarterback. Very durable here for Ferris State over the course of his career the last couple seasons.
Yeah, it seems like they're looking lower body right now, so got a stoppage here, and very unfortunate there. Tremendous run there by Carson, Rob. Looked like he was off to the races and ended up getting chased down there late as, boy, I don't like that.
This may not be a good sign. I thought I already saw him maybe going to the ambulance or trying to get a stretcher. We'll wait and see.
You hate to get too much into it, but it looked like they brought an immobilizer out there.
They've got the whole training staff down there taking a look at him right at the goal line. He's actually laying just in the end zone off to the sideline. So that's not good news here for the Bulldogs. Coach Anise, guy that likes to play multiple quarterbacks, and
it's like the paramedics are coming out.
So they are coming out here. So we'll wait and see whatever the case may be here, as he has the Bulldogs in position, first and goal. But that's not the important part right here.
Both players from both teams down taking a knee is that traditional sign of respect for an injured player, and a lot of concern in this stadium right now for Carson Golker.
Of course, we saw that against Lake Erie several years ago when it was a Lake Erie player that went down, and a lot of support from the Bulldog fans that still remember that ordeal.
Yeah, it was at this end of the field too. Boy, that's so tough, Rob, because Carson was off to the races and almost took it all the way to the house for a touchdown and got tackled just short of the end zone. As looks like even the Lake Erie trainer coming over to see if there's any assistance that can be provided.
So we'll have to wait and see here as we've got a timeout down on the field. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bulldog football coverage right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris Forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
It's not easy being an athlete.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Sunny 97.3 in Flow Sports. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as the paramedics, the trainers working on Carson Golker, the Bulldog quarterback, down in the end zone, the north end zone here at Top Tiger Field. He had almost scored for Ferris State and went down hard and does not look good here for the Bulldogs as a hush has kind of came over Top Tiger Field here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned the situation we had years back with an injured Lake Erie player. And obviously our medical personnel and local county personnel taking every precaution here. Coach Anise walking down that sideline there as he getting closer to his quarterback.
I believe Athletic Director Steve Brocklebank down there. I think they might have had Carson's dad down there as well, as they'll let him come in and take a look, and maybe some other family members as well. So they've kind of got it surrounded down there in the north end zone, and certainly a lot of concern for a guy that's been such a big part here of this Ferris State program.
I'll tell you what, Carson Golker is about as tough as it comes, and well, he went down hard, and we went from celebrating a tremendous run, putting us in position to get a touchdown, to now football is almost immaterial right now as you're thinking about the health of Carson Golker.
Golker, of course, just a junior here for Ferris State, 59 touchdowns in the last couple seasons, and really gives Ferris State two great quarterbacks. We'll have to wait and see. You never want to speculate too much, but Ferris State, not a whole lot of depth, at least in terms of proven experience behind Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah, I think that's where things get a little bit challenging here for the Bulldogs is they're very young. After his Bulldogs come to their feet, and looks like Carson has been placed on the gurney right there, and on the getting ready to make his way to the locker room, or I should say to the looks like to the ambulance. There is the entire Bulldog team. Shows you the respect that number 12 has among his teammates.
Senior leader here for Ferris State is that whole team down there in the end zone now to really pay their respects here to Carson Golker, and hopefully he's going to be all right here for the Bulldogs. Certainly we wish him all the best, whatever the recovery may be.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The health of any student athlete, and now I think we see the Lake Erie players coming back out onto the field here, but the health of any student athlete, and we've seen this from opposing players as well, and it's, anybody, it can happen to almost anybody. It can happen to anybody, and so there's certainly a lot of emotions on both sides.
Ferris State will come back to the line of scrimmage here as Carson being carted off over in the north end zone. Here on the stretcher for the Bulldogs, he is sitting upright, so that's a positive sign.
Tough kid.
At least here in terms of his health, as Ferris State will line up and Chambliss will have to come back on at quarterback.
Well, Trinidad had been playing, and now he's really going to have to play. He's been playing well, so if you're the Bulldogs right now, it's there's a lot of emotions running through your body right now, but you got to lock back in and finish off this drive, and you don't want to let Carson down. Don't let this run go in vain.
Chambliss at quarterback here for Ferris State as he works off the left side hash. We're back to action. The Bulldogs will keep it on the ground. Markel King to the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs get in the house, and they finish that drive for Carson Gulker.
Gulker did most of the work on that drive with his big run. Ended, unfortunately, for the Bulldog junior quarterback, but Ferris State gets into the end zone to make it 27-3.
Absolutely, and Bulldog fans, keep Carson Gulker in your thoughts as his teammates aim to play on for him.
So the Bulldogs on for the point after again as Middleton will set it up here for Ferris State. Rose to hold here for the Bulldogs.
Offsides.
Lake Erie might have jumped off sides. Kick, nonetheless, is up and good to make it 28-3.
Yeah, the Bulldogs will decline that and take the extra. I'm pretty sure they'll take the extra point.
2:35 to play in the first here as the officials talk it over. And it will be offsides and declined. So Ferris State keeps the 28 on the scoreboard here at Top Taggart Field. Good work by the medical team. The doctors really taking every precaution.
Yeah, there's no question. You don't want to make any mistakes and potentially make a bad situation worse, or whatever the situation is, you don't want to make it worse. And so we have great medical personnel, not only with Ferris State, in and around the program, but of course our local services. They do such a great job. So Carson Gulker is going to be in great hands.
Of course, the Bulldogs now will get ready to kick it off. If you're Ferris State now, Bulldogs certainly very confident in Trinidad Chambliss. He's the guy that started the game here for Ferris State, but you lose some of that depth. Now, Coach Anise, I know, mentioned it during preseason camp. Got to find a way to get a third guy ready, and now that
really
becomes maybe of even more importance.
Yeah. Before it was just kind of like, well, just in case. But now it becomes real, and I think. But more immediate than that is Trinidad Chambliss right now has to look at it as this is his team now, and at least for the time being, and he has to. He's going to have to shoulder that load, and you can see he's taking a big step from game 1 to game 2.
Middleton to kick it away here for Ferris State as this one's kicked down inside the 10-yard line. Lake Erie on the return over there on that far sideline, and a nice return here for the Storm again. Out across the 35 to about the 36 or 37. That was Johnson again on the return.
Boy, he is tough. That is a tough guy to handle right there.
So the Bulldog defense back out there as Sadov and Plamondon come out to lead the defensive unit up front, along with Victor Nilsson and Tyrone Fowler here for Ferris State. The Bulldogs with some new faces at defensive end this year, as we've yet to see a couple guys like Ralph Carter and Tim Allen that had big preseason camps. A lot of depth on that defensive line.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that the Bulldogs feel good about defensively is they have a lot of guys that you mentioned that haven't even got really on the field yet that we know are capable of making a big contribution.
Rice will give it off here and fumble loose here, and who recovered? We'll wait and see.
I think they may have gotten it back.
I think Ferris State might have had it initially as it popped forward. Then the Storm recovers, so they'll keep it here. And
we did get it.
It is Ferris State football. So
I thought you're right. I thought we had it too. I was like, wait a minute, but everybody got up so calmly like nothing happened.
So the Bulldogs will get it here on the second Lake Erie turnover of this first quarter. We're still in the first quarter. It's already 28-3.
Well,
the Bulldogs will get it back here in Lake Erie territory.
Not only are we still in the first quarter, there's still 2:21 to go in the first quarter. I mean, this has been a long first quarter here, 6:41 Eastern time right now, so long first quarter.
Chambliss back out there at quarterback here for Ferris State. Twins left side with one man to the right here for the Bulldogs. One to the left side of him here in the offensive backfield as Lee moves in motion over to the short side of the formation. Trinidad back to throw, has time in the pocket. Now steps up on the pocket, on the move, dumps it off to Lee here on the near sideline, and he gets it down to the 32-yard line, very close to a first down.
Boy, so impressed with Trinidad Chambliss right there. Pocket collapsed on him, did a good job of stepping up, knew where the line of scrimmage was, and delivered the ball to Lee for, looks like it was a first down.
So Ferris State gets it here to the 32-yard line here as the Bulldogs will line it back up.
So Bulldogs looking to keep this momentum going right now as they've seen some good things here as Trinidad Chambliss right here from the pistol, trying to see if he can keep this one going. Lee in motion. He's going to throw it. Looking deep right there and then comes short and nearly intercepted off the tip, but not able to hang on to it is DeAndre Goodson of Lake Erie College as he dropped a tip drill interception.
So almost picked off, and Ferris State here will have it now second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. So the Bulldogs will take their time, look back to the sidelines here as Chambliss working with the coaching staff.
We'll see if the Bulldogs maybe now rely a little bit more on that running game. Haven't seen any indication of that yet so far, and Bulldogs not really warming up any other quarterbacks.
Ferris State quick throw here to the near side
Got
to
room.
Lee. Lee's got space. He finds some space down the sideline and out of bounds down around the 10-yard line.
Boy, what a hole right there for Lee as he was coming through there exploding, and he was thinking touchdown right here as the Bulldogs already with 28 points right now. And again, we're still in the first quarter. Did have a long stoppage there because of the injury, but man, it's been a long first quarter.
Ferris State with it on the move here, down to the 8-yard line officially here. See if they can add one more score here in this first period of play. Markel King to the left side of Chambliss. Trips right side here on the wide side here for Ferris State. Markel will motion out. Chambliss looking to throw, has all kinds of time. Now on the move, stays on his feet. Flag thrown here as he keeps the play alive and throws it into the end zone on the right side, incomplete.
Smart play right there by Trinidad. I think he sensed that it was probably a hold, and you don't want to commit a turnover when you know it's going to be a holding penalty.
So that call coming from the officials down on the field here.
Well, I'm assuming, but I think I'm pretty safe.
And it will be holding here against the Bulldogs. So 10-yard penalty will keep it at first down here inside of a minute left here in this first period of play. The Bulldogs have been pretty mistake-free here in this first quarter, but big penalty here that moves them back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, great job by Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, what should not be lost is his ability to escape being tackled there, and even though they did end up with a holding penalty.
So the Bulldogs here will get set as Chambliss working out of the shotgun set for Ferris State. With Katzer, I believe, to his right, back on here at tailback for Ferris State.
Bunch tight here.
Lee in motion here for the Bulldogs. Chambliss just gets rid of it here as the pressure was coming. I think he tried to unload that one.
Yeah, he was just trying to get rid of it. I think he may have been trying to set up a screen there. It's kind of hard to tell. There's a lot of action right there, and I think Trinidad felt like, you know what, better safe, and he ended up throwing it away.
Like maybe the improved play of him so far here to not take any major mistakes like the Bulldogs had last week.
Yeah, officials looked at whether that was intentional grounding or not and decided it was not. But you're right, Rob. He is looks much more comfortable out there right now, and his decision-making has been really good early.
Ferris State now call it second and about 18 yards to go here for the Bulldogs. Trips right. Chambliss back to throw. Steps up in the pocket again. Delivers a strike down the middle. Touchdown Bulldogs!
Big-time throw right there by Trinidad Chambliss. He put that one right in the chest.
That one hauled in the end zone by Jeremiah Lee. His first touchdown as a Bulldog.
Boy, great throw by Trinidad Chambliss. He looks sharp today, and Jeremiah Lee feeling really good right there. Just a little skinny post-type route there, and boom, right on the money.
That puts it at 34-3. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter as Middleton is on for the point after. Off the hold for Brady Rose, and this kick is on the way. It's up, and it is good. 45 seconds to go in the first, and it's all Bulldogs, 35-3. They've done it both offensively and defensively so far.
They have done it with the run. They've done it with the pass. Offensively, defensively, it has been in terms of the actual play, it's been near flawless here for the Bulldogs. And they want to see if they can keep this thing going. And really, I think they're going to want to establish that running game as well here as this game goes on and start to run some of that time off the clock. Again, we're still in the first quarter here. 45 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Carson Gulker injured here. They did have an air cast on his leg, so it was a leg injury. All we have in terms of notes here so far, and hopefully he's going to be all right for the Bulldogs, but certainly our thoughts with the Gulker family.
Yeah, definitely want to keep the Gulker family in our thoughts, and it looked like both of his parents made it down onto the field, maybe some other family members as well, and hopefully they're with him and supporting him, and hopefully I know he's getting the medical attention that he needs and deserves.
Ferris State will get ready to kick it away. We've got a new kicker out there for the Bulldogs. I believe that's Gabe Long, a freshman that will do the kicking here in terms of the kickoff opportunity here for Ferris State. So already starting to work some guys here into the contest here that maybe we won't see here at other times during the season. This one going to be fielded here back inside the 15-yard line. Great coverage downfield by the Bulldogs.
Big time. Oh, we got a flag here. Not sure what that is, but what a great special teams tackle.
Flag thrown here.
Did you get the number?
Did not get the number.
14,
I'm still looking for
11?
the number.
Is it
14?
14?
It was number 14, Tyler Green, according to the public address announcer. That does look correct. They did call a late hit somewhere against Ferris State, so not sure what that was all about, but nonetheless, great play on special teams by Green.
See if we can see it on the replay right here. See the initial tackle right there, and wow. I mean, I guess that's tough play right there as you got momentum going forward, and, but he did hit him late, so I guess hard to argue.
So Lake Erie will set up here as clock at 41 seconds to go here in this first period of play. The Storm trying to get their offense going, been limited to a field goal. We had some movement up front. Victor Nilsson pointing at the offensive line for Lake Erie.
Let's see if the officials buying it right there. They definitely had set up for a run here, a couple tight ends, and looking like they were going to run with some power here. Officials trying to sort through and see who moved first. False start. So Victor was right.
Was called here against Lake Erie as the Storm will move back just a little bit. The Bulldogs rotating some guys up front, and not sure that's a good sign for Lake Erie here. The Bulldogs take one of the defensive ends out, and on comes Stanley Lambert, the Arizona State transfer here for Ferris State.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily get easier for the opposition.
So the Storm will set up here from the right side hash. 41 seconds to go here in this first quarter as Rice will work out of the shotgun set. Some movement again, and I think he moves again.
Same guy, left guard.
And he may be a little intimidated with Victor Nilsson standing in front of him here on that defensive line.
You can hardly blame him. I mean, the Victor Nilsson is not only a big man, but he is really quick feet.
He also has another big man right next to him in Duran Irving Bay from Ferris State.
A bigger man.
Number 77, the left guard, is a freshman. They've got a young team with a lot of freshmen on their travel roster and even in their two deep. So they expect those kids to get better and better here for Lake Erie, but their hands full right now. This one going to be a give inside. Nothing doing here. It was first in a mile, and it's still going to be first in a mile. It's going to be second in a mile coming up here after that play.
Yeah, just not a whole lot of room right there. The way the Bulldogs are playing right now, it's just tough sledding. I tell you, anything inside, where they've had some success is when they've been able to get to the outside, and it's just been few and far between for them.
So it looks like that may do it for the first period of play. I think Lake Erie's pretty content to have this first period come to a close as they're already on the sideline. Ferris State still on the field here defensively. So we'll wait and see. Bulldogs do not want to be fooled, and they're going to let the time tick all the way down before they get off the field. And it looks like that will do it for our first period of play. Ferris State with a 35-3 lead here at Top Taggart Field after the opening 15 minutes of action. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
At Ferris State University, we value collaboration, working together towards greatness. Diversity, embracing our differences for better understanding. Community, building engaging campus experiences. Excellence, inside and outside the classroom. Opportunity, you can make your dreams a reality. Move forward, Ferris Forward.
And everyone to Ferris State football coverage here at Top Taggart Field. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you. Where the Bulldogs have a 35-3 lead here to start this second period of play.
Yeah, on the strength of 285 yards of total offense, Lake Erie just 41 yards of total offense, trying to build on it with this drive.
Rice back to throw here for the Storm. Short little screen and broken up by the Bulldogs.
Oh, that was Justin Payout. Big interception.
Payout had a huge week last week for the Bulldogs. He makes a play right on the football, and that was close to being very dangerous for Lake Erie.
Man, Justin Payout right there. He saw the route jumped it, and just a little bit of contact right there as the ball was there. Maybe threw off the interception attempt. Bulldogs substituting liberally right now.
Right now, Ferris State going with a different look here up front as Deron Irving-Bay checks out. Jason Williams will come on, and I think the Bulldogs are going to go with 3 down linemen right here on this next offensive play here for Lake Erie as the Storm will get set here as they snap the ball. They fake the give to Mosley. Outside throw and incomplete. Again, the Bulldogs reading the play. Payout was there again for Ferris State.
It feels like Justin Payout's just all over the field right there. He was right there on top of that play, ball thrown high as Justin Payout right there playing a lot bigger than his size as he was able to disrupt that play. And Lake Erie setting up the punt right now, 4th and 20.
So the Storm going to have to give it back to the Bulldogs, and Ferris State a new man back deep here in terms of the return game here for the Bulldogs as the Bulldogs will get set. I believe that may be Jeremiah Lee.
Looking to make a play right here. Bulldogs lined up here as Lake Erie looked like they were maybe sensing the Bulldogs coming for a block right there, and want to make sure they're all on the same page.
So timeout down on the field. Ferris State football live right here on the voice of the Bulldogs, Sunny 97.3. Also on Metro Flint News Talk Radio, of course, on Flow Sports as well here on the Bulldog Sports Network throughout the season is the Ferris State Bulldogs entertaining the home fans here. 35 points in the opening quarter as they have really controlled this 8th all-time series matchup against the Storm.
Trinidad Chambliss off to a great start. 7 of 10 completions right now, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. Carson Gulker, before he went out with the injury, he was 3 of 3 for 27 yards passing. Carson Gulker is still the Bulldogs' leading rusher right now, 2 carries, 67 yards. Kenan Cancer is going to maybe try to take a run at that. He has 4 carries, 24 yards right now. Jason Williams leading the Bulldogs with 2 tackles, among others.
Lee back to receive. He's got a touchdown already here for the Bulldogs. This is a good kick.
Great punt.
All the way down inside the 35. Lee makes the first man miss, turns to the near side, goes back to the middle, finds a hole and gets it right near midfield. Nice return for Jeremiah Lee.
Yeah, tremendous return right there off of a great punt. Not only good depth, but good hang time as well. I mentioned Jason Neer with 2 tackles, Connor Neer with 2 tackles as well, Victor Nelson with a couple of tackles for the Bulldogs as well.
So Ferris State right now will send back out Chambliss. He'll stay on at quarterback here for the Bulldogs with the score at 35-3 here, just underway in this second period of play. Student section getting fired up in the south end zone as the Bulldogs are driving their way. 4 receivers in the formation. Here as he fakes the give. Chambliss steps up, looking to the outside and hauled in on the sideline. Catch made by Kim Underwood right at the 39-yard line.
Great job there by Cam going toward the sideline, dotting those toes inbounds is pass on the money again by Trinidad Chambliss.
Tarek Brett on the far side along with Underwood. Back to the near side. Tyrese here on the near side for Ferris State. Now the Bulldogs will go 3 receivers to the left. Katzer motions out. Chambliss drops back in the pocket. Quick throw to the outside.
Oh, you don't see that often.
He was looking for Tyrese Hunt-Thompson, and he was trying to turn upfield before he finished off the grab.
He was. That's a rarity for Tyrese Hunt-Thompson. But you mentioned he was thinking about those yards after the catch and not quite able to secure the ball.
So Ferris State now second down and 10 here from the Lake Erie 39 as the Bulldogs look to tack on another score here against the Storm this evening. Chambliss trying to get him to jump off sides. We got a flag thrown, and we might have a procedure penalty here against Ferris State. I'm not sure what that was.
How's that even possible?
So they're going to call it against Ferris State.
Coach Anise asking, too.
Not sure entirely the number. I thought he said 35. Maybe he meant
75. I think he said 75.
That is Dane Arnett, the left tackle, so called it against the left side of that offensive line. They've moved Bryce George into left guard. Of course, the Bulldogs playing a lot of guys up front already here early on. George, preseason All-American, but playing with that second unit right here on this series. Back to throw. Chambliss steps up, avoids the rush, looking deep downfield. He's got Tyrese this time in the end zone, and just a little long.
Just off the fingertips right there. And Tyrese, I think, mixed emotions there. Pass maybe a touch long, but right off the fingertips.
That was one where he also had to watch the back of the end zone, wanted to try to catch it inbounds, but just a little long, could not quite get to it, and that'll set up 3rd and long here for the Bulldogs.
Did not miss the connection by much.
So Ferris State now 3rd and long here. Could be 4 down situation here for the Bulldogs with where they're at here at the Lake Erie 44-yard line. Tight set this time as Lee moves in motion over to the wide side of the field here for the Bulldogs. Chambliss looks for the screen, sets it up here to Cancer in the offensive backfield, avoids the first tackle, finds a hole, Cannon down the sideline to the 10, and knocked out of bounds.
Boy, beautiful setup for the screen, and they've seen Lake Erie try to set up that screen, and that time the Bulldogs executed tremendously well. We've seen them work on that in practice a little bit more, and I think part of it, Rob, Cancer, I mean, he's a great all-around running back with his ability to not only run, but also catch it out of the backfield.
They'll give him down inside the 8-yard line, so it'll be first and goal from the 8. Markel King will come in right side. Chambliss in the shotgun set here for Ferris State. Bulldogs on the right side will send a man in motion. It'll be Chambliss rolling out left side. Trinidad looking to the back of the end zone. Hold in, touchdown to Tarek Brett, barring any penalty flags, and it does not look like we have one. I thought there was one down, but I think it was a piece of luggage from one of the offensive linemen.
That was beautiful, Rob, because they had Markel King come shallow out of the backfield, and he could have hit Markel King, but he sees right there in the back Tariq Brett, and a nice throw and catch.
Tariq Brett, of course, a member of that Ferris State track and field team as well, one of the top sprinters in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. The Bulldogs have another guy like that in Chase Carter, who we've not yet seen here, but he's a guy with some speed. Extra point by Middleton is up, and it is good. Make it 42-3. Any signs maybe of Ferris State not having an offense this year have been erased here in the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, we heard a lot of people wondering about the offense, but you wonder no longer, as this offense looking pretty good right now, and well, certainly a devastating injury. We think, we hope not, but Bulldogs right now looking like a pretty good machine right now. And Rob, I mean, what about the jump that we've seen from Trinidad Chambliss? I mean, he looks totally different right now, looks much more comfortable quarterbacking that offense.
Of course, he's going to have to be the guy here for Ferris State, at least for the foreseeable future. With the loss of Golker, thoughts with Carson again here. The Bulldogs have some young guys at quarterback, some young talent that just does not have a lot of game experience, kind of like Trinidad going into last season.
Exactly, and that's one of those things now where, you know, while the status of Carson is in question, you know, other guys right now are going to have to look at it and say, man, I might have to grow up a little bit quicker than I thought and be ready to contribute to this team potentially if my number is called.
So the Bulldogs will kick it off here with 13:22 still to play in the first half. Ferris State an hour into this one, but still a large part of this second quarter remaining, and already it's 42-3 as Middleton will kick it away here for the Bulldogs. As Ferris State working some guys in here on special teams again. Here as they get ready to kick it off, and this one's going to be sent deep by Middleton. This one's going to end up in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback here for Lake Erie.
Well, you can see that wind has let up a little bit, but not much. Is Mitch able to blast that one into the end zone there? No return from the Lake Erie Storm as the Storm trying to weather this storm by the Bulldogs here. Still 13:22 to go in the first half, the second quarter, and boy, Bulldogs already with 42 points on the scoreboard, lighting up the scoreboard.
Right now, Ferris State working a lot of guys in as we see Sheldon Cage come in on the defensive line, and he's a guy that started nearly every game last year for the Bulldogs and just coming in on that defensive line.
Yeah, very capable player there, so Bulldogs know that bringing him in, they're still bringing in quality.
So the Bulldogs will get set here on the defensive side. Four-man front here for Ferris State. Rice fakes the throw, and actually gives it off to Mosley, who gets a nice forward progress out across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Mosley has shown some moments of being able to run that football, but, boy, I tell you what, anytime you try to run that football inside against this defense, it's just really difficult.
So they did pick up about 5, maybe 6 yards here, so it'll be second and short here for Lake Erie as Rice will work out of the gun. He's got Mosley again here to the left side of him in the offensive backfield. Twins near side as they move a man in motion, and Devin Morgan. Rice in the gun, pressure coming from the outside. Flag thrown here. They're going to blow this one dead, and it will be against Lake Erie. A false start here against the Storm.
I think they saw that blitz coming from the Bulldogs. Sefa Saipaia was coming in, and I think maybe flinched as the referee lets us know it's everybody but the center on the false start.
We've got a great crowd on hand here, both down on the field and also in the press box. See our good friend John Smith up here in the box today. making his way up. And
Smitty rocking the old school Ferris State colors right there. Got a little maroon going there is Smitty, longtime voice of the Bulldogs in many different sports.
Back to throw. Rice here, hit as he throws, delivers the pass. Great coverage.
Unbelievable
here
coverage.
On the near side by Alexander. He had the receiver, Rico Small, draped here on the sideline.
I mean, that's like shutdown corner stuff right there.
And Rice is hurt here. He took a shot up the middle right as he delivered the pass from, I think it was Plamondon who came in, the Ludington native, who hit him hard. Rice back up and on his feet, though. That's a good sign here for Lake Erie.
They had a squad of trainers come out there, and the coaching staff saying, let's take a free timeout right here to regroup.
Of course, Lake Erie here, a challenging schedule in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference as well here, and they want to certainly try to make some improvements here as this game goes on before they gear up for their second game next week. So
yeah, they got CW Post coming up on the 14th, and then they got Findlay expected to be a power in the GMAC coming up in week 3. So they got some tough competition ahead.
Big win by the Findlay Oilers today over Truman State in a big Super Region 3 matchup as they'll go to a change at quarterback. Mosley will get it off the right side here, hurdles a man and runs into a couple Bulldogs. Bulldog defense, I think, is getting better and better at controlling the line of scrimmage as this game wears on.
Boy, Bulldogs just swarming all over the place right now, making plays.
Eric Jackson over there coming back to the near sideline, involved in the play along with some others. As fourth down is coming up here for Lake Erie with 12 minutes to go here in the first half, and Lee will be back deep to receive again.
Yeah, the Storm's just been it's just been tough all game for the Storm. Is they just have not been able to muster a whole lot of offense.
So Lee back to receive here for Ferris State as he'll be standing back at his own 36-yard line here for the Bulldogs. And Jamison, I believe, on the punt again here for Lake Erie as this kick in the air. Lee's going to field it cleanly at the 36. Turns outside. He's got a wall, but tried to sneak it back inside and gets it out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Still good field position here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, how dominant has that Bulldog defense been? They've held Lake Erie still to just 47 yards of total offense. Meanwhile, the Bulldog offense has 333 yards of total offense on 27 plays, while Lake Erie has 47 yards of total offense on 21 plays.
Bulldogs continuing to rotate guys. Some new wide receivers out there here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs continue to put some new guys on the field here for Trinidad Chambliss. Chambliss still the quarterback, but working with some new personnel as the Bulldogs will give it off to one of the veterans, Amari O'Brien, on the sweep left side. Finds a nice hole up the sideline. Late flag thrown here as he picks up about 6 or 7 yards.
Boy, that official right there threw that from deep in the backfield right there, and got a little mustard on that one.
We'll wait and see what that's all about. Probably going to be against Ferris State. Not sure what the penalty was, but did not look good from this angle.
Holding. Offense, number 83.
And it will be holding against Ferris State, called against one of those young guys, number 83, Jalen Townsend, a redshirt freshman, seeing his first action of the season here on this series.
Of course, Bulldogs traditionally take a lot of pride in their receivers, wide receivers, and slots being able to block on the outside. So maybe a little bit too aggressive there on that particular play.
Bulldogs will set up here on the near side. Twins to both sides here for Chambliss in the shotgun set here for Ferris State. Looking near side. Pass complete here on the outside. And
great move.
Near midfield and good yardage as the Bulldogs get a big chunk of that back.
Boy, great play right there to just let that develop a little bit and then just kind of use some of that power right there to kind of pull his way forward.
And to check the receiver, number 19, it's TJ McKenzie, transfer from Hope College, who shifted uniform numbers here for this game tonight. He lines up left side, a guy that was had a standout career at Hope College.
Yes, he did, and looking for an opportunity as he comes to the twilight of his career here with the Bulldogs.
Chambliss in the gun. Going to give it off to Amari O'Brien. Nothing doing here in the offensive backfield, and a flag thrown here as he's kind of driven out of bounds here at midfield.
They're going to call it kind of an illegal shift here.
So it will be here against the Bulldogs again. So Ferris State moving the wrong way here with 10:29 to play in the first half.
I knew he couldn't have been holding. Well, first of all, the Bulldogs didn't really get much out of it, but illegal shift is going to maybe push them back. Although the Bulldogs didn't really get much out of that play. We'll see what they.
Illegal shift. Offense, numbers 8
and it was
moving at the same time.
An illegal shift. A couple guys moving at the same time, according to our officiating crew down on the field, led by Bradley Mutnick out of the GLIAC. He is the referee. Dennis Busey is the umpire here working this game today, as assigned by the GLIAC.
It's an interesting call to give the Bulldogs back that down.
So call it second, and looks like Bulldogs needed get it to about the Lake Erie 43. So 2nd and 10. Here is Ferris State's going to keep it on the ground. O'Brien again here to the near side. Almost the same play and almost the same result here, as he might have got a yard.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a great way of putting it. It was almost like a carbon copy of that last play there. As maybe the Bulldogs tried to catch him napping there a little bit. So that decision to take the yards and give the Bulldogs back the down maybe pays off for Lake Erie, as the Bulldogs now on 3rd and 9.
So Ferris State now will set it back up here on 3rd and long. The Bulldogs have yet to punt the football here in this football game, and certainly do not want to do so here in the first half. We'll see what Chambliss can dial up here for the Ferris State offense. King will motion out. Chambliss back to throw. Blitz coming here. He delivers the pass, and it's caught here at the Lake Erie 41, and it'll be a first down here for the Bulldogs as it was hauled in by Townsend.
Great play by Townsend, Rob. What you really love is Townsend knew where the sticks were and gave himself a couple extra yards of cushion.
Of course, had the mistake maybe on the penalty, but comes back, makes up for it here with a nice reception for a Bulldog first down. 1st down and 10. Here is O'Brien.
Sweep.
Will get it on the sweep, left side, trying to get some blockers. Flag thrown again here.
Oof.
As it's down inside the 40. And this, by the looks of it, probably going to be a hold, but we'll wait and see.
Well, you got some young people out there, and again, Bulldogs like to try to block from the wide receiver positions, and that time maybe a little bit too much there, because that official, well, no, offsides.
So it was called against Lake Erie, so that'll help the Bulldog cause. Ferris State penalties kind of been a point of emphasis here during preseason camp for head coach Tony Anise.
Well, we saw that, I think, particularly with the defensive coaches, really emphasizing not only the things to look for normally that are called penalties, but also adjustments to rules that lead to penalties. And I thought the coaching staff, Coach Hodges and the defensive staff, and one time I was out there at practice, they did a great job of going over that with the players.
Ferris State will line back up here. First down here for the Bulldogs at about 5 yards to go from the Storm 36-yard line. As Chambliss will work out of the shotgun set here for Ferris State. He takes the snap. Trinidad drops back to throw.
Blocking.
All kinds of time. Delivers the ball. Had to get rid of it. Incomplete, but flags are thrown.
You know what? It's the right call, but it's a tough play. It's a tough call for Lake Erie because the ball was overthrown, and they threw another flag down too. I don't know if it's for the same penalty.
There's a couple flags back there about the same spot here. You'd have to think it's on Lake Erie.
Yeah.
And it will be pass interference here against the Storm. Did not maybe give the Bulldogs an opportunity to make the grab.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough break for Lake Erie. The ball was thrown a little bit behind the receiver, and Lake Erie player was just in a tough position right there. The right call, but a tough play for Lake Erie.
So 1st down and 10 here for the Bulldogs at the Storm 21. With 8:35 to play here in the first half, Ferris State leads it already 42-3 as the Bulldogs will send a man in motion. They're going to give it off to Kenan Katzer again here off the left side, down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. So nice pickup here on 1st down for the Bulldogs.
I think this is what the Bulldogs really would like to get to here, and I think you're going to see maybe a lot of this in the second half. They want to keep running with that football.
Bulldogs right now have already played a ton of guys here in this first half as we kind of look at our participation report, and at least most of the veterans for Ferris State that are normally on the travel roster have already played.
I think you're going to be making a lot more circles here as we get into the second half.
Well, we're already working to the freshman additions here for Ferris State as Gabe Long, the kicker, was out there as Katzer takes it up the hole, gets it to about the 15, and this will set up 3rd and short here, 3rd and about 3 coming up here for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs want to keep that. Right now, Bulldogs, I think I know they're probably more interested right now in just keeping that clock moving and keeping the ball moving downfield as they are in necessarily getting points on the board. Right now, Bulldogs feeling really confident with what they've been able to do.
Ferris State going to give it off here as they tried to run the option but gave it off instead, and nothing doing here, and 4th down is going to be coming up here for the Bulldogs.
So decision time right now. I'm guessing the Bulldogs probably not going to kick a field goal, probably going to go for it here.
Markel King brought down here and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That was about it. So it'll be 4th and about 4 yards to go here for Ferris State as Chambliss will set the offense back up. Bulldogs have it at the Lake Erie 16. 4 receivers in the formation with King to the left side here of Trinidad. Maybe trying to get Lake Erie to jump off sides.
Playbook is wide open for the Bulldogs. If you're Lake Erie, you do not want to give them a free first down.
Down to 9 on the play clock here for Ferris State as King motions out. Chambliss to throw across the middle and incomplete. Had his man, but we got a flag thrown, and this is going to be against Lake Erie.
Come on back, guys. Come on back, defense.
Victor Nilsson was halfway out there, ran back to the sideline as Chambliss was hit, and that's a very unfortunate break here for the Storm.
That's a tough break, but that's well, we got a roughing the passer call a little bit earlier, and that's almost heartbreaking for Lake Erie. I mean, you're obviously not in a position to really win the game at this point, but you were going to get off the field, and now the Bulldogs have a fresh set of downs staring at the end zone. Tough break.
Chambliss had maybe O'Brien coming across the middle with some good position to pick up the first down and maybe score, but it was overthrown. That might have been the reason why, as he took a big shot as he tried to deliver the football.
So Bulldogs will definitely take their time right now, even though the clock is not running. They want to be deliberate, and they want to execute.
Chambliss with a man left side here in Markel King. Bulldogs will run the speed pitch left side. King trying to turn to the corner to the end zone. Markel, touchdown Bulldogs.
Boy, great job there. Just as you mentioned, little speed option to the left. Just a quick toss. Boom. Got it right there into Markel's hands, and Markel finds the pylon for another Bulldog touchdown. Bulldogs getting ready to tee it up right here for a 49-3 lead. Right now 48-3 pending the extra point.
All Bulldogs here in the first half of play as Ferris State takes advantage of a Lake Erie penalty. The Bulldogs in third or fourth and long a couple times on that drive, but made the plays they had to get into the end zone, helped by a penalty. As the extra point here is up by Middleton, and it is good. He's been automatic, making 49-3 with 6:33 to play in the first half.
Yeah, great job by the Bulldogs to get it down there, and unfortunate for Lake Erie that roughing the passer call negates what would have been a stop on downs, and Bulldogs end up adding 7 points to the scoreboard as if they needed more. Bulldogs finish off that drive impressively, now lead 49-3, and still 6.5 plus before halftime.
Ferris State football coverage right here on the Bulldog Sports Network, Sunny 97.3. And, of course, on Flow Sports, presented by Three Girls Bakery, thanks to Northwest Chiropractic, the Sawmill Saloon, and the Holiday Inn, along with the Mecosta County Visitors Bureau for all their support of Bulldog football. We'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show when this one's all said and done, but that's still a long time from now here. We still have 6.5 minutes to go in this first half.
We got a lot of time, and that scoreboard seems to be moving awfully slow right now as the Bulldogs and the Lake Erie Storm right now is still 6 minutes, 33 seconds before halftime, and the Bulldogs knocking on the door of 50 points.
So Ferris State to kick it away here as the Bulldogs put it back on the tee. And this one's going to be kicked here by Long, I believe.
Good kick.
And it's going to get a good Bulldog roll. It rolls into the end zone. He might have touched it. He's going to come out with it. Decided twice, and he's going to be swarmed under at the 1 yard line.
The momentum of the ball, I think they would have given him a touchback.
Jarek Fields and company down there here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs had a host of guys down there to make the stop. And tremendous play here, a Lake Erie player down as the training staff will come out and take a look at him. But the Bulldogs had great coverage downfield.
Rob, I think it's a tough break, and I know he probably was questioning it, but I think the momentum of the ball, I think they would have given him a touchback because the ball went into the end zone and he recovered it in the end zone. So, but I think he was thinking maybe not and tried to bring it out and got pinned down at about the 1, maybe 2 yard line.
I believe that's Amarian Perkins down, senior linebacker here for Lake Erie. And they might be looking at his leg as well, although he's starting to set up now, so that's a good sign here for the Storm.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to jog off there with a little bit of a limp, but good to see right there. Is of course, thoughts about Carson Gulker still in our heads right now and in our hearts right now, and so certainly happy not to see another injury.
Of course, everything's went Ferris State's way tonight with the exception of that injury to Gulker, and we hope he's going to turn out for all the best. And I know the thoughts of Carson are with all of these guys down on the sideline right now.
There's no question they want to get this one for him, and certainly keeping him in their thoughts as they try to close this first half out.
Rice standing in his own end zone here as he awaits the snap on first down here from the 1 yard line. Hand off to Mosley. He turns the corner. He's got some speed, and he's going to get him some breathing room here as he picks up the first down out near the 15.
That's what happens when you go to a goal line defense and they get past that first level. Sometimes they can be off to the races there, and that's what Lake Erie was able to get. So they got themselves out of a really tight spot.
Head coach Tony Anise and that Bulldog defensive staff taking no chances right now. They've still got a number of those key guys out there on the defensive side. Jarvis Alexander and Alston Ware still at the corner spots here for Ferris State, and they've got most of that veteran nucleus in there defensively. Rice in the gun here off the right side hash. 5:50 to play here in this opening half of action. They'll give it off to Mosley again on the right side. He tries to go over the top and knocked out of bounds after a short pickup.
Trying to run off that right side. Had a lot of white jerseys there in front of him, but Bulldogs still close and limit what could have been a little bit of a bigger play there. As he does end up with about 5 yards on that carry, leapfrogging, as you mentioned, near the end of that run.
So 2nd and 5 coming up here for Lake Erie as the Storm with Rice at quarterback, trying to get something going here against the Bulldogs, who have been pretty stingy here on the defensive side in this first half of play. Mosley to the left here is Rice just going to keep it on the ground, and nothing doing this time for Mosley. He ran into that defensive line as guys go moving backwards. Ferris State not fooled. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, good work right there. Looked like Stanley Lambert was involved in that play.
So Lambert, the transfer for Ferris State up front on that defensive line. The Bulldogs have kind of made some changes and adjustments at times on that defensive line. They've played some 3-man fronts, some 4-man fronts. They've had the end standing up, a little different than what we've seen in years past.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that with the end standing up in week 0, and see if that's a trend right there. Sometimes it gives those speed guys a little bit of an edge right there for those linemen that are trying to come out of their stance.
I mentioned with Ryan Brady or Ryan Hodges the other day.
Here.
Defensive coordinator, that the Bulldogs trying to generate a little more of a pass rush and get some sacks that they didn't get all the time last year. They're coming after Rice this time, and incomplete pass here. Big shot delivered here by the Bulldogs out of the defensive secondary from E.J. Jackson.
E.J. Jackson bringing the lumber right there as he put the big hit on. If you heard some oohs and ahs from the crowd here at Top Taggart. Crowd that's still standing in here. A lot of people still here for a 49-3 game.
Sun still out here at parts of the field. Part of the field covered by the shade of the Wheeler Pavilion overlooking the field, but still sunny here as we're approaching 7:30 already here, almost 90 minutes into this contest.
Almost 90 minutes in clockwise, but still not even at halftime. Still a little under 4.5 minutes before halftime.
Lee back again here for Ferris State at his own
44-yard
line.
This guy can punt.
Jamison, a great kick here. Moves him back to the 35, but Lee, a nice return.
Great tackle.
Gets back to about the 48, and a good open field play made, as you mentioned, by Cameron Prater on special teams for Lake Erie.
Ooh, I tell you what, not a whole lot has gone well for Lake Erie, but I'm telling you what, they got an all-star punter.
Jamison, a returning starter in terms of the punting game for Lake Erie, and one of the few holdovers maybe for a new coaching staff coming back this year.
I can see why. I mean, he can definitely boot it. And again, if they're able to start putting some things together in the other two phases, offense and defense, with a weapon like that, he can become even more of a weapon.
They're showing blitz from the outside. Chambliss going to give it off here. Markell nowhere to go here as Lake Erie got a good surge up front that time, held him to no gain.
Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. You called it. They blitzed off the right side. Bulldogs able to, for the most part, pick it up, but certainly that pressure led to really no real running lanes for Markell King.
And Coach Tony Anise, not a guy that likes to make wholesale changes. He's got some new guys in there on the offensive line at the receiver positions, but we still see Chambliss and some of the key members of that offensive backfield out there here for the Bulldogs. Quick throw to Jashawn Johnson here for Ferris State. He tries to turn upfield, breaks the tackle, and knocked out of bounds in Lake Erie territory as he gets it down to about the 47-yard line. Nice pickup here of about 7 yards.
Yeah, good work there by Jeremiah Lee on the outside. A little block that probably sprung him for a few extra yards, so 3rd and 4 for the Dogs. They're quickly to the line.
Johnson, a transfer, I believe, from Western Michigan in the slot for Ferris State.
Coach Anise upset. He thought that his guys should have been able to go quick.
Ferris State right back to the line. Chambliss looking for the quick give. Gives it off to Katzer. He finds a hole, breaks a tackle, and he gets it down to the Lake Erie 30.
Yeah, nice job right there. Good give. And Kenny Cancer runs well between the tackles and has that explosiveness. Once he gets to that second level, he can explode. And next thing you know, you could be watching him go to the end zone.
I believe one of the Ferris State scoring records came against Lake Erie back in 2014-2015 with Jason Vanderlaan at quarterback. Bulldogs could be threatening some of those marks here at this ball game. Back to throw is Chambliss. Outside throw here to Lee. Lee fakes outside, comes back inside, then goes outside and ends up picking up about 8 yards here on the reception.
Yeah, Lee felt like he had some numbers right there. If he could just square his shoulders to the defender, maybe he had a chance. He could kind of sniff that first down marker.
2:30 to play here in the first half. Clock continuing to run as the Bulldogs look for another first half score here against Lake Erie. In the gun here is Chambliss. Cancer to his right. Cannon's going to get it on the option pitch here. Trying to avoid the first tackle. He does. Makes a nice move inside. Comes back to the near side, and the pile swarms him under here at the 13, but move the chains. A first down for the Bulldogs.
Never assume that Cannon Cancer is tackled until he's actually tackled, because right there I think Lake Erie thought they had him wrapped up, but he was able to break tackles and ended up getting some extra yards for a first down.
We've got the 2-minute timeout here at Top Tiger Field as the Bulldogs lead it 49-3. We'll be back in 60 seconds right here on Sunny 97.3 and the Bulldog Sports Network.
For over 100 years, you strive.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris Forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage here at Top Tiger Field. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you, where the Bulldogs lead it 49-3 over Lake Erie. Ferris State has it first down and 10 from the Storm 14 as Chambliss taking his time. Play clock still at 15 here for the Bulldogs. Trinidad walks back here as the Bulldogs work up the right side hash. He's got Townsend to his right. Bulldogs give it off to Cancer again, and Lake Erie had that one snipped out as he'll lose about a yard or two.
Yeah, they read that one pretty well, but that's going to set up some things down the line there as Bulldogs can have some additional options off that right back to the line.
Second down and 12 here for Ferris State. Going to be Cannon again this time, and got a couple yards back maybe here for Ferris State, but not a whole lot of room to run here with 90 seconds to play here in the first half.
Might be an injured Lake Erie player right now, struggling to get to his feet.
And it looks like they will now stop the clock for the injury. And officials' stoppage here is Coach Anise. He's looking at the official again. He's not too happy.
He's like, I'm trying to run the clock out right here. He's like, and I mean, injuries are injuries. They happen, but.
I believe that is Perkins again, who was down earlier, so maybe a cramping issue of some type or something. He got up the first time. They've got three trainers out there again, and it looks like they are looking to stretch out that leg.
And it is, if you don't stay hydrated, even though it's certainly nowhere near as hot as it was in Pittsburgh, Kansas, but it is warm, and if you don't stay hydrated, you can start cramping pretty quick.
We'll have Tony Nicolette from D2Football.com, the GLIAC columnist, here with us at halftime. We'll also take a look at the first half numbers, try to check the GLIAC scoreboard and more coming up here at the break. See some of the Ferris State athletic teams starting together down by the Victory Bell. The Bulldogs will honor tonight at halftime some championship teams. The men's golf team winning the GLIAC championship, finished 9th in the country last spring. Men's tennis winning the GLIAC regular season and tournament titles, and also the Ferris State men's and women's basketball team. So this is the first home game since basketball season ended, a chance to honor two teams that went to the Division II Elite Eights.
I was going to say, I know I saw Coach Bronkema and the staff down here a little bit earlier as the Bulldogs ready to run this play. Quick out.
Quick throw here to Johnson on the near side, and he's bumped forward. Got it here for a couple of yards, but fourth down coming up here for the Bulldogs. And
no movement.
So Looks like Ferris State will keep the offense out there here. It'll be 4th and 9. They've been pretty conservative here on this series with a 49-3 lead.
So Bulldogs right now, let's see what they come up with, keeping the same personnel out here on the field.
1 minute left here in the first half here for Trinidad Chambliss. Trips left side here as he's got one man to the right. Chambliss looking right, now looking across the middle. Delivers the ball, and that one might have been tipped.
Yeah, but it's going to be holding, defensive holding.
So it was a flag in the end zone, and he was looking across the middle. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but there was a flag back there in the back of the end zone.
It's going to be pass interference. I think it's probably more likely defensive holding.
So a couple chances here for Lake Erie to get off the field on 4th down.
Oh, they're going to say the ball was tipped, so never mind.
So that will negate the penalty, and Ferris State will have to send the defense out. So one of the few times, maybe the only time here in the first half, the offense has failed to come up with some points.
Yeah, good job by the officials to get together. They saw a tip. Of course, if it would have been holding, then it wouldn't have mattered. But they saw the tip, and that negates pass interference.
So the Bulldogs will send out the defense. Mike Edwards coming on as one of the safeties back there at the back end here for Ferris State. A couple changes up front on the defensive line as well. Toby McPhee in there on the defensive line, along with Marquis Jones. Caleb Davis in there at defensive tackle, and Sheldon Cage on the front line. 4-man front here for the Bulldogs as Rice gives it off. Mosley on the cutback to the near side. Gets some positive yardage. So he'll get it out to about the 18, and 40 seconds left. We'll see how Lake Erie tries to play this. They may not have to snap it if they don't want to here to end the first half.
Yeah, exactly. I saw Mike Edwards, who bouncing back from an injury, coming in to help clean up that tackle at the end. Good to see him back. That's another player that battled back from injury.
Lake Erie looking over to the sideline in no hurry here. They have an opportunity to run one more play, but I don't know if they have to.
They don't have to. Well, it's
very close. It's almost identical. Some of the Lake Erie players kind of shaking their hands like we want an opportunity, but I don't know if they want to.
Well, I don't think they're going to be too worried. Yeah, it's identical. It was identical.
And it looks like that will be the end of the first half. Ferris State dominates the first half of play, and the Bulldogs lead it 49-3 here at halftime at Top Tiger Field. Tremendous first half performance.
Yeah, outstanding. Bulldogs just really dominant right from the first drive on, and never really took their foot off the gas pedal.
Ferris State with a big advantage here at halftime at Top Tiger Field. We'll take a 2-minute break. Back with halftime coverage after this timeout on Flow Sports, the Bulldog Sports Network, and Sunny 97.3.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Want to be a storyteller? The television and digital media production program at Ferris State University is the create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
Are you seeking applied learning opportunities that will prepare you for your future? Classes taught by experienced faculty? Do you want internship opportunities that will launch your career? Then the College of Business at Ferris State University is where you belong. With 23 accredited programs and 122 degrees, you can advance your knowledge in unique majors such as esports production, music and entertainment business, and hospitality. Experience excellent placement rates and become a career-ready graduate. Start your journey today at ferris.edu/business.
Welcome back, everyone, to halftime coverage of Ferris State football here at Top Tiger Field. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as we recap the first half numbers. The Bulldogs lead it 49-3, 414 yards of total offense in the first half here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's just dominant, more than 4 times what Lake Erie College has been able to muster. So the Bulldogs really clicking on all cylinders right from literally from the very first drive.
The Bulldogs with 149 yards on the ground, led by Carson Golker before the injury, 2 carries for 67 yards. Trinidad Chambliss for the Bulldogs, 16 of 22 in the air for 238 yards. 2 scores, more importantly, has not turned the ball over here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he has really done a great job handling the football. You mentioned 16 of 22, very efficient right there, and 2 touchdowns as well. Has not turned the ball over, and that was something last week that obviously was a problem. He looks much more comfortable out here today.
Lake Erie held to 72 yards of total offense, 55 on the ground, including 55 all from Nick Mosley here for Lake Erie. Cade Rice, 2 of 11 for 17 yards in the air, was intercepted once, and of course they had a fumble as well here in that first half of play. The Bulldogs holding Lake Erie to 1 of 6 on third down here in the first half.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Lake Erie has not really been able to sustain drives to the extent that they want. And that's something that, again, we went through this a little bit last week. We went through this a lot last week, and it's a struggle. I mean, just 5 first downs, and, again, not ability to sustain drives, get you off the field, and it allows that Ferris State offense to keep coming back.
Jeremiah Lee leading the Bulldog receivers, 4 catches for a total of 59 yards and a score. Katzer had 3 grabs for 61 yards. He also on the ground for Ferris State had 10 carries for 54 yards in the first half of play. Defensively for the Bulldogs, Mike Edwards with 3 stops. Sadov has 2 tackles, Jones with 2, and Williams with 2. Here in a balanced effort for Ferris State. The Bulldogs scoring summary here in the first half. Chambliss opens up the game, 6 plays, 75 yards, and scores from 9 yards out to make it 7-0. The Bulldogs score again less than 5 minutes in to make it 14-0 on a 14-yard touchdown run from Chambliss after a 5-play, 63-yard drive. Golker comes on. He finds Katzer for a 20-yard scoring throw. 3 plays, 25 yards. The Bulldogs have a 21-0 lead at the midway point of that first period. Ferris State gives up its only points here in the first half as Murphy connects on the field goal. 10 plays, 45 yards for Lake Erie on the drive. It was 21-3. The Bulldogs, however, though, get a 1-yard touchdown run from Markel King following the injury to Golker with 2:35 to go in the first quarter. 28-3 after a 3-play, 75-yard jaunt. Then Chambliss comes back in. He engineers a 5-play, 42-yard drive. Hooks up with Jeremiah Lee for an 18-yard scoring throw. It was 35-3 after 1 period of play. Middleton connects on the field goal for Ferris State in the second quarter early on after the Bulldogs went 43 yards in 5 plays, made it 42-3. And then finally Chambliss to King from 8 yards out with 6:33 to go in the first half as the Bulldogs finish off an 8-play, 53-yard drive. And 49-3 is where we stand here at halftime.
Yeah, just dominance, start to finish, and Bulldogs a little bit of a push right there in the one drive by Lake Erie where they were able to get a field goal out of it, but for the other part, it was all Bulldogs in this first half.
Bulldogs honoring some of the teams that won championships here this past winter and spring. Of course, did some of the fall teams from last year during the winter season, as the men's tennis team has just been honored. GLIAC champions. The men's golf team, the GLIAC champions, finished 9th in the country. They're coming out. That'll be followed by 2 teams we had a great chance to follow during postseason play, the men's and women's basketball teams in the Elite 8. Of course, men's basketball winning the GLIAC Tournament Championship. Both teams won Midwest regional titles, and women's basketball ended up going to the Final Four.
Yeah, just great performances that you mentioned it. We got a chance to see up close and personal, and we got a chance to follow those teams through just some awesome runs. But what an athletic year that we had last year for Ferris State, and if the start of this year is any indication, we could be in store for another great one.
Of course, head coach Andy Brockman's got a great nucleus coming back. He's missing some of the guys who were a big part of that championship team as the Bulldogs lost 6 seniors, probably not with us here tonight. Most of those guys have kind of moved on to other things in their life, but he's got some great young pieces, as we saw the other night with the team having an inter-squad scrimmage, and should be another fun team to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think this coming year's team is going to play differently than last year's team did, and I think there's going to be some excitement around this year's team, and I'm excited for our fans to get to know some of the young guys, the new guys that have come into the program to go with our veterans that are coming back.
And can't say much more about the women's basketball team. Greatest season in school history for head coach Kurt Westendorp and the Bulldogs. Of course, they lose two of the best players in school history in Mallory McCartney and Chloe Idoni, but a great nucleus back for Coach Westendorp this coming year.
Yeah, great nucleus coming back, and Bulldogs have added some new pieces this year that they're really excited about. And so, boy, what a magical ride, and I could not be happier for our women's basketball program and what they were able to accomplish last year with that regional championship.
We'll take a 2-minute break, back with more halftime coverage after this timeout on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Are you seeking applied learning opportunities that will prepare you for your future? Classes taught by experienced faculty? Do you want internship opportunities that will launch your career? Then the College of Business at Ferris State University is where you belong. With 23 accredited programs and 122 degrees, you can advance your knowledge in unique majors such as esports production, music and entertainment business, and hospitality. Experience excellent placement rates and become a career-ready graduate. Start your journey today at ferris.edu/business.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris Forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
It's not easy being an athlete. At Ferris, we do things others will not. We push boundaries. We get up when we fall, again and again. We put in long hours. We don't quit. We do what it takes. That is why we are champions.
Everyone to Ferris State football coverage at halftime. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you, where the Bulldogs lead it 49-3 at the break, and joined by a special guest from D2Football.com, the GLIAC columnist, Tony Nicolette. Tony, great to have you here at Top Tiger Field tonight.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Always great to be in the room with you guys, and I got to be careful about coming up here because Stan's been putting me to work. I'm going to go home with no brain cells left.
Second straight week we've had D2Football.com on here at halftime. Of course, had Chuck last week along with Matt, and great to have those guys on, and we appreciate all you guys do for D2 Football.
Well, hey, we do it out of love, and it's a ton of fun, and I know they had a blast being on with you guys last week, so it was very cool to have them on, and they appreciated it as well.
You going to cover the GLIAC all year. What have you seen from the GLIAC teams here early on in the season through maybe a week for some teams, 2 weeks for others?
Well, we're finally getting ourselves back up to 500 as far as the league goes, which is good. So, obviously you guys had the toughest game last week that we saw, but then a couple other folks didn't help out too much. And, I was actually really surprised at Tech. Not that they didn't play well against Bemidji, but that they didn't find a way to hang on to that game after leading the whole way. And then they came out flat the other day against South Dakota Mines, but found a way to win it late. So, but other than that, I think if you look at the rest of the league this week, kind of a lot of serve holding outside of that. Obviously, Ferris is doing what they needed to do. Saginaw Valley had a pretty good outing. Grand Valley had a decent outing. So, you're seeing the teams. Davenport got a win today. So you're seeing teams that we're kind of expecting to go out and get non-conference wins over this first weekend, going out and getting it done.
Yeah, and how much pride do you guys take? And, we had a chance to talk with Chuck and Witt last week and over in Pittsburgh, Kansas. A great setting for Division II football. And I think Pitt State and some of the other schools that we get a chance to play, and us, I think we realize what a hidden gem D2 football is. And just talk about you guys being able to bring that to the fans and go to these little pockets of D2 football and really be able to showcase what we think is so special. We know is so special.
Yeah, well, your words are very kind, Sandy, and we appreciate it. And, I think that's one of the things that, some of us that I think all of us had some sort of D2 involvement or non-Division I, if you will. You know, I mean, Chuck went to a D2 school. Coach Poe had some D2 involvement throughout his arc. You know, K-Ferg has had his involvement with multiple D2 schools. That guy's got more degrees than Carter's got liver pills.
And he might not be done.
I don't. He's not. He's working on another one at Valdosta State right now. You know, and then Whit having his NAIA background. So I think we all kind of grew up as sports fans, and there's just some sort of romantic attraction that all 5-6 of us, we can't get away from when it comes to this level of ball in Division II in particular. And so then when you've got that, you know, sort of allegiance to this level of ball to begin with, and you start to build relationships with the different staff, whether it's the coaching staffs or the athletic staffs, and you just see how much love and care that they have for the kids, and you see the kids playing more for the reason of they love it than necessarily they're trying to get to playing on Sundays. And there's nothing wrong with playing on Sundays, but I don't know. There's still a certain old school romantic purity about this level that we've all just grown attached to, and so to get to actually do stuff like this is just a complete gas for us. And so it's just, you know, when you get to the end of the season after 16, 17 weeks of it, you still feel kind of tired. But it doesn't take long before you start thinking, man, August is going to be here. And then I get to start feeling out what's going to happen this year, and then it just all comes right back. So we have a ball with it, and the fact that so many schools around the country receive us so well, I mean, geez, you can't draw it up any better. It's just too much fun.
You really can't. And Ferg, if you're out there listening, we got some doctorate programs here at Ferris State. So if you want to come and get a degree at Ferris State, hit up your boy. I can get you hooked up. So shout out to Ferg. We didn't get a chance to meet him when we were down in Texas a few years ago, but looking forward to being able to meet him at some point too. But Tony, tell us about your observations of this Ferris State team, and obviously in the GLIAC, Ferris State and Grand Valley have kind of been, you know, the torchbearers for the GLIAC. Davenport right there as well. Saginaw Valley maybe creeping up there back into that elite of the GLIAC under Coach Brady, who was here on our staff.
Yeah.
Just, you know, talk about this Ferris State program in the scope of what we have in the GLIAC.
Well, you know, as you know, for a long time, you know, Ferris was the program back in the 90s and back when I was in school. I mean, that was who everybody was chasing. And then throughout the aughts, that was kind of Grand Valley's time. And then through the teens, you watched Ferris kind of build. And there was a stretch of time there in the middle of the teens there where you saw a whole bunch of teams trying to stake a claim to it. You had Ohio Dominican involved in it. You had Ashland in it. You had, you know, Ferris having years. You had Grand Valley having years. Hillsdale won one in there, go into the Wayback Machine. And so to watch the way that Coach Anise built this into what it is now has been, you know, that's part of what college football is, right? And that's part of what we love about being on D2Football.com is to try and bring some exposure to that, because everybody sees those, you know, types of things happen at the D1 level, but at our level, you know, there just aren't as many media outlets that give it that kind of coverage, and so that's why we love being dedicated to just this. And so, you know, obviously Ferris is placed within not only the GLIAC pantheon, but the national one, you know, these days is you know, unquestioned. And, you know, I mean, hey, you guys took it on the chin the other day, and you're still in our top 10. So, you know, we know. I think Whit characterized it real well on Inside D2Football.com last Sunday. He said it's not like they all of a sudden stink. Yeah. So, you know, we know you guys are going to be there, you know, come playoff time, and that's, you know, we love seeing new teams, but that's part of the attraction to these sorts of things too, is when blue bloods do what they're expected to do. You always want the best teams, you know, to make it at the end. And let's face it, you know, the teams in our top 5, we talked about this on the show too, you know, one of the preseason shows. The top 5 that we have, we kind of know that's where the power center lies. And that's not to say that there aren't teams that are in that maybe 6 to 15 that might not, you know, sneak their way into it. But, yeah, Ferris's position is certainly not in question, and you guys are rebounding kind of like I figured you would this week.
I know every Sunday night, inside D2Football.com, 8 o'clock on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever it is right now. How exciting is that just to get on there and talk about D2 football and hear from some of the fans?
It's great. And, again, I mean, it's for guys like me who, you know, didn't have the guts to study broadcasting like you did, to find a way to still be able to get involved and have those sorts of things happen. I mean, it's too much fun. And, you know, obviously, you know, we've got the Inside D2Football.com, but we've got a whole group of columnists and podcasters that cover almost every league in D2. So if there are other leagues that you want to learn more about, whether it's the MIAA, if it's the PSAC, if it's the Gulf South or the Lone Star. We've got folks that have got dedicated time every week to putting together either a column or a podcast or whatever. And, of course, now this year, Whit, somehow I dragged him in, or he dragged me in. I'm not sure who did the dragging, but now he's co-hosting. And so we've upped the game on the GLIAC side, too, to where we've actually got a full show for the GLIAC this year. And so we usually try to put those in the can on Tuesday nights. And they usually end up on all the e-channels that we have sometime on Wednesday. So you can listen to me and hopefully don't look at me. See what we have to say about what happened in the past week, and then Whit and I always try to take a good look at what's coming up and highlight the key games and all that kind of stuff. And again, it's to have the platform is amazing, but to get the kind of reception that we do, we really love it.
I know we talked about it last week, but Brandon Meisner, obviously the founder of D2Football.com, battling some health issues. Maybe talk about how not only the D2 football staff, but all of Division II coaches, some of the other fans around the country have kind of rallied around him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's when you see someone who takes the risk that he did to start something that no one had ever done before, and to have that much love for it, to make it his life's work. I don't know that I would have had the courage to do that the way that he did. And so there's a world of respect that all of us on the staff have for him, above and beyond the fact that he's just one whale of a guy. And I know you guys know him real well. I know Sandy knows him real well. And it's, there have been a lot of shows just already this year where we tell him we love him because we do. And he's just one of those incredibly neat people. One of the stories I've told on the show is that I barely knew the guy, and I'd never met him before in person, and then he and I did like a 4-night jaunt through Texas, seeing a couple of games, staying in hotels together, and it's just one of those things where you didn't even think about doing it, and you couldn't wait to do it again after it was over. He's just one of those people. And so, I mean, to have you guys wearing those decals last week was really killer. I think there are a couple other big games coming up this year that some schools are going to try and do that, to try and make sure that everybody keeps some focus on the fact that he's out there, working hard to try and get back to a level where he can be on the show again. But, yeah, the work that he did to build that site and the foresight that he had to even attempt it is just amazing. And so we all love him. We're all pulling for him. And hopefully he's back with us on the show as soon as possible.
100%.
Tony Nicolette from D2Football.com, thanks for being with us here at halftime. And I'm sure we'll see you again here later on down the line, maybe in Allendale, if nowhere else here before the season.
Well, that one, and I think I've got another date or two where I've got some stuff circled to be back here in Big Rapids. So if you guys will keep having me, I'll probably keep showing up.
Come on back. Anytime. We appreciate it. So, Tony, thanks for being with us here at halftime, and enjoy the rest of the game.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with more Ferris State football coverage in 2 minutes here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Let's just try not to.
It's not easy being an athlete. At Ferris, we do things others will not. We push boundaries. We get up when we fall, again and again. We put in long hours. We don't quit. We do what it takes. That is why we are champions.
At Ferris State University, we value collaboration, working together towards greatness. Diversity, embracing our differences for better understanding. Community, building engaging campus experiences. Excellence, inside and outside the classroom. Opportunity, you can make your dreams a reality. Move forward, Ferris Forward.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as we gear up for half number 2. About 3 minutes away as Lake Erie returns back to the field. The Bulldogs already down on the field warming up as they lead it 49-3 and certainly in control here at halftime.
Yeah, Bulldogs certainly, as you mentioned, in firm control right now as we're inching up on the 8 o'clock hour. And we're still got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go before halftime is over. But, boy, I tell you what, it feels a lot better to have that with a 49-3 lead than otherwise. So Bulldogs finishing their warm-ups, heading to the sidelines here is won't be long before we'll be getting the second half underway.
Of course, the Bulldogs expected to play a lot of guys probably here in the second half with a 49-3 lead. I already see some guys that look like their nights might be done. Brady Rose, one of them, didn't play a whole lot in that first half. Walking a little gingerly, but he appears to be okay.
I think you probably got a good sign with the sweatshirt on underneath his jersey. I think that's probably a good sign that he's probably not going to see a whole lot of that. He's holding on to that helmet, though, like he still wants to get back out there.
Of course, the Bulldogs already lost Carson Golker here tonight. We hope he's going to turn out all right.
Yes.
Taken probably to Mecosta County General Hospital down the road just as a safety precaution, but they did have to stabilize him, and hopefully everything's going to be all right with Carson Golker.
Yeah, definitely. And the tough part is Carson's just such a good guy. I mean, such a good young man, and had a chance to, we spend a lot of time around the team, and you get a chance to meet the parents, the family, and you get a chance to get to know the players better. And boy, you just wish him nothing but the best. And brother, we're praying for you. We're keeping you in our thoughts.
The Bulldogs here in the first half played most of the travel roster from last week. We expect some other young guys to play as well here in the second half of play, as Ferris State leads it 49-3. Lake Erie was pretty content in that first half to keep it on the ground and just keep that clock moving after the Bulldogs jumped in front so fast early. We'll wait and see how the Storm elect to play it in the second half.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that, you want to pass the ball, but, it's tough when you got a pass rush that's coming at you, and you got great cover guys on the outside, and it's just difficult to try to get a passing game going against that defense.
Big thanks to Stan Gustafson, the stat man running our stats crew out here, as starting our second season using the NCAA Live Stats program, and off to a better start already than I think we were last year early on, but has some new faces on that stats crew. They do a tremendous job of trying to keep it straight with all the duplicate numbers, not only the Bulldogs throw at you, but you've got the other team who you do not know a whole lot of as well.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. But, hey, credit to Stan. I mean, he recruited Tony Nicolette to join his staff right here for the game. So he finds volunteers everywhere. And shout out to Tony. Tony's a great guy, and we're very fortunate to have him covering the GLIAC for D2Football.com.
Certainly a tremendous individual and a first-class guy, even though he might be a Grand Valley guy.
Yeah, we got to factor that in a little bit, but he's always been good to us, and love Tony.
I will say he does a very unbiased job reporting on the GLIAC, and
he
obviously maybe a little more attention shown to Ferris State and Grand Valley State, deservedly so.
Yeah, and I think, we mentioned it that they've been kind of the standard bearers here in the league in recent years, and but Davenport's right there, so you never know what's going to happen here, and we'll see. Second half underway.
Gabe Long, the kicker here, as Lake Erie's going to field it back at the 5-yard line. The Bulldogs good coverage downfield, but maybe a missed tackle. The second one not missed, as the Storm will start right at the 21-yard line as the Bulldogs come off the field with the defensive unit.
Yeah, if that tackle had been made, it could have been a pretty serious collision right there, but Long showing a nice leg there.
I think that was Tarek Brett down there making the stop for Ferris State as the Bulldogs come out here defensively, and already some changes. Javon Ruffin in on the defensive line for Ferris State to start the second half. We mentioned Davis was out there earlier as the Bulldogs get some new personnel out there here early on. Rice in the gun here for Lake Erie. Going to give it off to Mosley running near side, and the Bulldogs swarm him under. Loss of 1 here on the opening play of the second half.
Great job by the Bulldogs swarming there to the football there. Christian Kramer looks like redshirt freshman linebacker in on that play.
He's a guy the Bulldogs are very high on. Just a youngster along with Jarek Fields. They got the 2 new linebackers out there, so Sefa along with Connor and Jason, their nights might be done here for the Bulldogs.
Especially if these guys continue playing well.
So this will be second and call it 11 yards to go here from the 20 for Lake Erie as they shift a man in motion over to the right side of the formation. Rice fakes the give, rolls out right side, pressure coming here as he unloads the football, and nobody there, although we have a flag thrown from the back end, so this one may be on the Bulldogs here in the defensive secondary.
Good pressure, though, also from the linebacker, Jarek Fields, getting in the backfield there and putting some pressure on the quarterback.
Officials have thrown a few pass interference-type penalties against the secondary. We'll see if that's what this one is. We've seen that call a few times here tonight, and it will be defensive holding here on the Bulldogs. So it's been called against both teams here this evening.
Officials have been pretty active here in this game.
So in the first half for Ferris State, the Bulldogs, in terms of the penalties, in the first half had 6 for 53. Lake Erie had 7 for 48 in half number 1. So Lake Erie here, first down and 10. Ball out to the 30 here for Rice as he takes the snap, gives it off. Mosley cuts back to the right side, makes a nice move and gets some forward progress. Ball pops loose. Who's got it? Lake Erie.
Like Storm got it back.
I think they did get it back.
That ball popped out really late there as it looked like Javon Ruffin was right there in the neighborhood.
He was trying to come up with it for the Bulldogs, so that kind of negates a nice run, though, from Mosley as the ball pops backwards and he ends up getting maybe a yard out of it at most.
Yeah, that's a tough break right there. You mentioned it, made a nice cutback, almost like a counter play, but lost the ball and unfortunately lost that yardage.
Cade Rice, the quarterback, redshirt junior, who's a Division I transfer here for Lake Erie, has had some red jerseys around him most of the night here as they send a man in motion. Rice back to throw. Looking near side, pressure coming. He makes a move, and he's taken down by the Bulldogs.
Sacked in the backfield by
Ferris State's Caleb Davis coming up with the sack here defensively.
He got a sack. He got a sack by about 1 yard. A little more than that, and it would have been a tackle. But great job there. Good pressure on the backside as they flushed him up into the pocket.
Toby McPhee right there as well. Kind of made him move inside here. It'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 here for Lake Erie. Ball at the center of the field. Bulldogs showing blitz here as Lake Erie will check here at the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 12 here for the Storm. Storm finished 1-10 last year. Looking to build with a new coaching staff here this season. Play clock down to 4 here as Lake Erie gets the play in. Down to 2. Are they going to get the snap off? Some movement.
Well, there was movement.
And I think
timeout.
They did get the timeout before the movement. So 12:35 to go here in the third quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds right here on the Voice of the Bulldogs, Sunny 97.3.
Michigan. Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you. Did not quite use that whole timeout as the Bulldogs nonetheless brought the pressure. It was an incomplete pass, 4th down coming up. As Ferris State tried to pick it up and run to the end zone. One of the Lake Erie players took a flop, but no flags thrown. And looks like that'll do it. It'll be 4th down coming up.
Yeah, officials pretty much saw right through that flop and did not take the bait as Bulldogs run it back just in case, but the officials pretty clearly signaled it was an incomplete forward pass.
So Ferris State back to receive. Jeremiah Lee will be back at his own 30 here for the Bulldogs. Brady Rose, the punt return man for Ferris State in week 1 and early on here tonight, but Lee has came on, and he's done a nice job back there here for the Bulldogs.
He has. He's really shown some decisiveness and some explosiveness.
Another punt here. He's going to have a chance to field it. Maybe. No, it's going to take a hop, and Lake Erie touched it right about the 40-yard line, so that's where Ferris State will start on its own half of the field. And out will come the Bulldog offense. Will see what the Bulldogs elect to do here at quarterback, and it looks like a change has been made here for Ferris State as they try to get the number. So it looks like it's going to be Chase Carter that gets the start here in the second half at quarterback for the Bulldogs.
So Bulldogs going a little bit deeper again with the injury to Carson Gulker. Looks like Chase Carter getting some action.
Carter, a talented young man, fast sprinter here for the Bulldogs, looks upfield. And
what a throw.
Completes his first pass into Lake Erie territory and down to the 45.
Wow, what a very confident throw. Rolled out to his left, threw that one on the run, right on the money.
Found Amari O'Brien, I believe, on the reception. Carter, a redshirt freshman out of Orlando, Florida, highly touted prospect. Option type quarterback, I believe, but has the ability to run and throw.
Had a chance to watch him in practice, and this is his specialty right there. Took a little bit of a hit for the team right there on the option toss.
He tosses it, and the Bulldogs get some forward progress. Gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
James Colby on the carry.
Here on the near side, James Colby, a veteran for the Bulldogs, out of the offensive backfield on the carry.
Of course, the quarterback is fair game for a hit right there on an option pitch.
Getting darker, a little tougher to read the numbers from here up inside the Wheeler Pavilion for this evening game now as Colby
look
gets
out.
it again. No.
Oh, did he get it back? No, he did not.
And it looks like the Bulldogs do fumble it over, and Lake Erie is going to get it on the change of possession. So Colby might have had it if he had got it on the handoff. Carter decided to keep it, and the Bulldogs turn it over. It'll go back here to Lake Erie.
Yeah, it's hard to see what happens, but, you put a young player comes in. Again, Bulldogs having to use a little bit more of their depth at quarterback, and a quarterback that's going to be very, very good, we believe. A turnover right there, and young people sometimes make mistakes.
So Lake Erie will come out here as the Bulldog defense marches back out. Ferris State with Trey Rigby at the near side corner as they continue working through the depth chart here on the defensive side. Rice in the gun, gonna fake the give. Rice keeps it right side and got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard at most. Looks like they're gonna mark him right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he did well right there. It looked like Jake McPhee was right there, and he was able to just a little bit of a sidestep to avoid McPhee, but McPhee had teammates right there to stop it for no gain.
Ferris State defensively, as the Bulldogs on the defensive line have Ralph Carter out there now at one in spot. Seeing some action here tonight. Eddie Henry as well involved from the far side. Rice in the gun here on 2nd and 10. Low snap, pulls it down. Ball tipped up.
Oh!
Almost intercepted.
Mike almost had an interception. Mike Edwards right there.
That one was up in the air, but Edwards not able to get to it in time. He'd like to have that chance back here for the Bulldogs.
Oh, he is so frustrated. I think he just got a late jump on there. He was so close to making a over-the-shoulder interception grab.
Great crowd on hand here in the first half. Some of the student section is kind of cleared out with the score at 49-3.
Apparently they feel comfortable with the score.
They do. Coach Anise, he's never going to feel comfortable, but he's comfortable enough to work some other guys in here early in the second half.
You're right. Coaches never fully feel comfortable until it says all zeros on the scoreboard and people are at center field shaking hands.
So out of the gun, Rice will send a man here to the left side of the offensive formation. Bulldogs in a 4-man front here at the line of scrimmage. They'll give it off right side, nothing doing.
No
Ralph
way.
Carter made the initial contact. Second effort, maybe they pick up a yard, but the Bulldogs pretty strong up front defensively despite the changes.
Mentioned Ralph Carter, 6'4", 243 out of New Orleans, Louisiana right there. Getting a nice jump on that play and making it difficult there. They did not quite get the loss, but they did get the stop and the 4th down.
4th down coming up here as the Bulldogs rotate some guys out there here for special teams duty. And Lee will be standing back inside his own 20. He's had a busy night, as has Jamison, the punter, here for Lake Erie. And he gets this one off. It's a high kick. This is a good one. Lee's going to call for the fair catch, and he's got it at about the 15 or 16-yard line.
So the punting game remains strong here as Carter coming right back out to pilot this offense.
He'll come out with another opportunity. Has some veterans still out there in terms of the offensive line here for Ferris State. They have worked some other guys into the playing rotation, though. Cam Heiss in at right tackle. I believe Chimdindu Obi might be the center or the right guard in there right now for Ferris State. I think he is the center here for the Bulldogs.
Yep.
So Ferris State now in the gun. Carter at quarterback has a man right side in Kobe. And Kobe's going to get it on the inside give, and he leans forward out near the 20, picks up 2 or 3 yards here on the carry.
Good surge right there. Good push by the offensive line as James just kind of running up behind there and just trying to get some yards. They want to keep that clock moving. They want a faster third quarter than they had first and second quarters.
Big thanks goes out to Pepsi and Gatorade for their support of the Bulldogs. 9:30 to play here in the third. 49-3 all Bulldogs tonight in the home opener against the Lake Erie Storm.
Empty backfield.
Carter drops back. Pressure coming from the outside. Carter on the move. He's got some speed. He's got some room to run. Takes the hit.
He jumped right back up.
I'm not sure he went down. He did get right back up if he did.
I think he went to a knee.
And the Bulldogs have it at the 31. Move the chain.
I tell you what, he went to a knee, Rob, but he took that hit and just got right back up like he had a fly on his shoulder.
I mentioned Carter and Brett both, I believe, last year, either in the indoor or the outdoor season, were among the top 3 or so sprinters at the GLIAC.
I'll tell you what, there's some speed back there for sure. I tell you what, he felt a little bit awkward, but he did pop right back up.
4 receivers in the formation here for Carter in the gun with a man right side. Here is he'll send a man around in motion. Carter's going to keep it right up the hole here for the Bulldogs, and the offensive line moving forward out near the 39-yard line as he gets a good gain.
Are you sensing a theme with the kind of quarterback that the Bulldogs recruit? Jay's looking like the next in line.
Shades of Trinidad Chambliss already out here for Ferris State.
Very, very, very similar to what we've seen in Trinidad Chambliss, a Trevor Birmingham type as well. I mean, very talented, very talented.
Ferris State will send 2 out wide to the left side, 2 back to the right side here for Carter on 2nd and short. 2nd and call it 2 from the 39 with 8:08 to play here in the third. High snap, pulled down. Carter looking for the quick throw to the outside. Hooks up with James Gilbert. Gilbert turns outside.
Look at JG.
On the sideline. Gilbert down the sideline and wrestled down inside the 20-yard line.
Great grab by JG, yards after the catch.
Gilbert caught the ball, turned outside. It was too quick for the man covering him. Fortunately, Lake Erie had some help side to prevent the touchdown.
Yeah, I think we're going to see at some point some big things from guys like James Gilbert, guys like Cam Underwood. We've already seen that from Tyrese Hunt-Thompson.
In the gun, Carter, as the Bulldogs going to keep it on the ground, and James Kobe right up the middle, and he gets it down to the 10-yard line here for Ferris State, as this will set up 2nd and short again.
Good vision right there by James Colby. It's just kind of almost like he had a roadmap of how to get that yardage there, as he really just kind of followed right through and found the seam and upfield, putting the head down, 2 hands on the football.
I like it when you get 7 or 8 yards on the first play.
Touchdown, yep.
As the Bulldogs drop back to throw. Carter underneath, and it's intercepted. This could be a chance at a pick 6. Carter, the sprinter, trying to track him down and make the tackle, and he does. At the Ferris State 45-yard line. Big interception for Lake Erie. Not able to get the pick 6 was Jordan Baker, but a nice play.
Yeah, he just kind of telegraphed the throw a little bit, and again, young player making young mistakes, but he's going to be he looks like he's going to be a really good one.
So that gives Lake Erie a little bit of life here. 49-3 with 6:52 to go in the third. Prevents a Bulldog score, but credit Carter for tracking him down to make the tackle.
Absolutely did not shy away from the contact there and came in and made a tackle on a big man coming downfield.
So out of the gun here, Lake Erie from the Ferris State half of the field here at the 45. As they'll send a man in motion back to the near side of the formation on the short side. Tight set here for the Storm. They keep it on the ground. And
great tackle,
going.
Mike Edwards.
Edwards coming up from the defensive secondary to make the stop on the ball carrier. Keed Capoto, redshirt junior on the carry.
One thing about Mike Edwards is that he has contact courage. He will stick his body in there, and he will make some plays.
Ferris State at home next Saturday night. Huge matchup against the Ashland Eagles. Another member of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference, team that comes in 0-1, but you know a team that's going to come in and battle the Bulldogs.
They're going to be ready. They are going to be ready.
2nd and 10 here for the Eagles as they shift a man inside. Back to throw. Here is Lake Erie, and nothing doing. Ralph Carter with the sack back at the Lake Erie 41.
There is no escape. He was coming like a man on a mission right there. He looked like an elite GLIAC sprinter coming in.
Rice rolled out to the right and ended up rolling up backwards here. They'll give him forward progress to the Bulldog 44, but a loss of 10. It'll be 3rd and 20 coming up here for the Storm.
He's probably thinking for a 6'4", 243-pound guy, he's running pretty fast.
Storm came tonight, but it hasn't been wearing the white and the green. It's been in the red tonight.
It has been a red storm, that's for sure.
Back to throw. Rice, screen play, set up nicely. Big hit, but a missed tackle here. Second tackle not missed as Edwards comes in to make the hit.
Mike Edwards is everywhere.
Edwards, a guy that likes to hit, and he's laid out a couple here this evening. And
maybe another one right there. See if he training staff out there right there. And, boy, I tell you what, when you go down like that, I tell you one piece of advice, just take your time getting up. That guy took 2 big hits right there.
Capoto down on the turf and see if he's going to be all right. He started to sit up, but then lays back down, so had his legs kind of taken out from under him.
Yeah, I think it might have been the second hit. The first hit, he kind of able to take it, maybe a little bit more of a glancing hit, but then the second hit came in, and he tried to jump up there a little bit too fast here, and looks like he probably is going to be okay.
Shaking it off here as he walks back to the Lake Erie sideline. Lake Erie trailing here 49-3 with 5:18 to go in the third, and if you're the Storm, you don't have a whole lot of depth when you're on the road, but you certainly want to have as many guys fresh as you can for your next game next week.
Well, if you're Lake Erie, that's exactly what you're thinking right now, because you're looking at it and you're thinking that's one of the games that, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about post, but that's one of the games you're probably feeling like we might be able to get. So you certainly don't want to have any injuries that might jeopardize that next week.
So the fourth down situation coming up here as Lee is back at his own 15. Here for the Bulldogs. Jameson to punt it away again here for Lake Erie. High kick here and a good one again. Lee will field this one on the move at the 20. Avoiding a couple tackles, comes all the way back to the near side. We do have a flag thrown as he avoids the first tackle. Still on his feet and finally wrestled down.
He did not want to go down, but 2 flags on the play, 2 different officials, obviously. We'll see.
So it's at the Ferris State 19-yard line, but the Bulldogs may lose some more yardage here.
I think it was probably 2 different holding penalties, so probably we'll see. But it might have been the same holding penalty.
Wait and see how it all shakes out here as the Bulldogs will send the offense back out there. As the official going to make the call, and it will be against Ferris State here as the Bulldogs will be backed up here into their own end. Illegal block in the back called against the Bulldogs.
Or illegal block in the back. The Bulldogs going to move way back.
So this might be their worst starting position of the night, all the way back at the 9-yard line.
Bulldogs are moved back almost to where that new residence hall is going to be.
So starting back inside their own 10. Here as Ferris State gets set offensively. I believe that's Carter still out there at quarterback. As Ferris State works out of the gun. Option pitch near side here as the Bulldogs try to break a tackle here on the outside, and they do. Into the sideline, down just below us is Kobe.
Well, he got a lot closer to a first down than I thought.
They'll give him up to the 19-yard line. So Ferris State picks up 9 yards here on the carry from Kobe.
Good run there by James. They looked like they had him bottled up right there, but somehow James is able to fight his way off.
So it is Carter still on at quarterback. Takes the quick snap here. Gives it off outside, but this one's going to be blown dead. Don't see a penalty flag. Bulldogs did move quick, but I do not see a penalty flag.
We're in process. That's a warning
against
Ferris State.
Well, it's the umpire's responsibility to stop things.
So warning issued here against the Bulldogs for the snap. So Ferris State will keep it at 2nd and 1.
I couldn't see if the umpire was there to stop it. Usually the umpire comes in, he puts a hand, he tells the center, don't snap it.
I think I said Obi was the center earlier. It is DeJuan Gilbert. Obi is the left guard here for Ferris State. As Carter works out of the shotgun set. He'll fake the give. Carter's going to keep it. Leans forward here, and he's going to have the first down out across the 20.
Good hard run there by Chase Carter.
So Carter gets the first down here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs move the chains again here with 4 minutes left in this third period, leading it 49-3 here at Top Taggart.
We mentioned Chase Carter, 6-foot redshirt freshman. Very similar type of player to Trinidad Chambliss. We mentioned that a little bit earlier.
Back to throw here is Carter. He's got all kinds of time now on the move, and Carter's going to use his speed. He's out across the 30 and ran out of bounds. He's going to have another first down out to the 32.
Well, he can do that. He's just got to have those instincts to know when to tuck it under and run.
So he'll move the chains again here for the Bulldogs. As head coach Tony Anise I've seen enough games with Coach Anise. He's going to give these guys an opportunity, but he's going to be pretty content to keep it on the ground.
Absolutely. I mean, in the second half, this third quarter is already moving a lot faster than we saw in the first and second quarters. So he wants to definitely run this clock.
4 receiver set here for the Bulldogs as Carter stands in the gun with Kobe to his left here in the offensive backfield. High snap, pulled down. Carter rolls out left side. Looking to throw. Now he's going to try to make a move on the run, and he does, and gets to the sideline. Short gain here for Chase Carter.
Smart play in that he did not try to force the ball downfield. Took what was there, and I believe it's second down. There we go. Yeah, so 2nd and 9.
Devin Henry was in the offensive backfield on that last play. He'll check out as Kobe comes back on. Here for Ferris State on 2nd and 9. 2:50 to go here in the third as that clock continuing to move. The Bulldogs going to give it off of the sweep. Lee using his speed. Turns upfield here for the Bulldogs and gets it out to the 40. Made something happen on a play where it looks like he was going to lose a few yards in the backfield.
You could see the way that play was working itself out, that he was going to have one man to beat, and he was at least going to get some positive yardage. And he was able to beat that man before his teammates came from Lake Erie to finally bring him down. But it makes the third down a lot more manageable.
3rd and 4 here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs try to keep this drive going. Carter pulls it down, gives it off up the middle, and Bulldogs will get a yard or two, but short of the first down. And
let's see our first punt here.
And it looks like they will come on with the punting unit here for Ferris State. Mitch Middleton and Ethan Sossin going to come out, but we got a Lake Erie injury down on the field again.
Well, their training staff is getting a lot of steps in.
So Ferris State going to have to punt here. I believe this might be the first time tonight we've seen the punting unit out there for the Bulldogs.
I believe you are correct. We've had some different things happen, and obviously 49 points on the board. Of course, we had a few turnovers as well as Lake Erie coaches coming out to see, and hope it's nothing too serious here, but not a lot of movement from this player.
So Ferris State with a commanding lead here late in this third period of action as the Bulldogs looking to even their mark on the season here at 1-1 with a victory here tonight, and set up a big matchup with Ashland next Saturday night right here, same time, same place at Top Taggart Field.
Certainly going to be a big matchup across the board here. As we take a look at the stats right now, and Bulldogs right now at 541 yards of total offense here in this contest. Conversely, it's been a tough one for the Lake Erie Storm, just 64 yards of total offense, and Bulldogs have been absolutely dominant defensively here in this contest, and that's a testament to what we thought coming into this season and what we thought before week 1 and what we thought after week 1. The Bulldogs have really been just dog tough on the defensive side of the ball.
Nice look at the Bulldogs sideline right here. Video coverage tonight on Flow Sports, courtesy of Ferris State Television. Great work by Bill Young, our engineer, along with Andrew Tingley, of course, who directs our unit that produces these broadcasts. Joe Strokeridge involved with our IT services. Tremendous job not only with the video production side, but all the audio and replay type equipment here at Top Taggart Field.
Yeah, they do such a great job. And you mentioned Joe and Bill and Andrew. Great to see the Lake Erie Storm player, defensive lineman Christopher Johnson, sophomore out of Boynton, Florida. He's up and walking on his own power over to the sideline. But so many people that, impact what we're able to bring. And people hear our voices, but there's so many people behind the scenes that really make these broadcasts possible. And we're appreciative of their efforts.
Of course, big thanks to Steve Masters at the Sunny 97.3 studios and on the Bulldog Sports Network as well for all of his help in making the live streaming, live radio broadcast possible here at Ferris State Football. Bulldogs roll out left side. Ethan Sossin up dandy here as they call for the fair catch back at the 20, and the Bulldogs able to flip the field here as the defense will return.
Yeah, great job. You mentioned it by Ethan Sossin. Just really got a good foot into that one. And hasn't gotten a lot of action, but he made the most of that one.
So the Bulldogs continue some more changes here up front. A reminder to the fans, join the Gridiron Club and help support Bulldog football. Had John Bayless on during our tailgate show. You can find out more about the Gridiron Club at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Of course, tremendous job they do with the tailgates and so many other things that help support Bulldog football.
Yeah, putting dollars into the program, the Ferris State Football program, through a variety of methods. And we definitely encourage people, become a member of that Gridiron Club and really support this team, and also easier way to get your tickets and an easier way to have some first-class parking in the Gridiron Club lot, and to interact with some great people who are great supporters of Bulldog football.
All right, so keep it on the ground this time here. Gain of 1 will make it 2nd and long here with 90 seconds to go here in the 3rd period.
So Bulldogs right now trying to keep that clock running, 1:22 and ticking here in the 3rd quarter. Bulldogs not in much of a hurry right now with the clock ticking, and the Storm, quite honestly, aren't in a big hurry either. Here is 2nd down and 9 from their own 23.
They will set it up here as Rice works out of the gun, back to throw. He's been on all night at quarterback, completes the pass here across the middle for a short pickup before a host of Bulldogs bring down the receiver, Rico Small, able to make the catch here across the middle. Good for about 7 or 8 yards.
Good job right there by the Bulldogs. Relatively short intermediate pass right there. Bulldogs kept them in front. They're going to force them to earn it on 3rd and 3 here to keep this drive alive.
Approaching the end of the 3rd period of play here as
Pressure.
Rice looks over the top, and no one there here on the sideline as Ferris State had it well defended here on the near side.
Yeah, he was in the pocket, threw it right there as he was clearly feeling the pressure, and just said, you know what, I'm going to just throw this ball to the Bulldog sideline.
Closest guy there was Peyton Hughes, another transfer here, a veteran that played Division II football at Northern State out in South Dakota before making the trip to Big Rapids here to play for the Bulldogs.
Well, Northern State, that's a long ways away. Of course, Northern State is the team that the Bulldogs beat in the national championship game in 2018. Bulldogs' first national championship in men's basketball.
Back to punt here is Jamison, and wow,
That's
he
a
unloads
bomb.
one here. That'll flip the field again. Lee on the return here up the near sideline and gets some good yardage here up the sideline out across the 40 to the 43-yard line here with 26 seconds to go in the 3rd.
You know, you don't normally think of a punter as a weapon, but boy, I tell you what, he has made some great punts that put punt returners in tough situations. Jeremiah Lee, very talented.
We do have holding.
So we have holding, so Bulldogs are going to make him punt it again. Oh, no, I guess not. I thought they were going to make him punt it again.
Well, Lee still is out there here for the Bulldogs, unless he's coming out here offensively.
Well, he's deep in the backfield if he is.
Ferris State will take that penalty from the previous.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because Coach Rock was talking to Jeremiah Lee, and I'm like, it looks like the Bulldogs want him to punt it again, and I don't blame him because that was a great punt.
So it looks like they will have to punt it again here as the Bulldogs send back out the punt return unit.
I think the referee probably just assumed that they were going to take that return because it was actually a pretty good return off of a great punt.
So the Bulldogs will stack it up here at the line of scrimmage here. Lee now standing at his own 29. Had a good return, but they'll get a little better field position maybe here. He'll move up to about where he ended up getting to.
It was like a great punt with a good return, but you're right. He's getting the ball. He's going to likely, unless he booms this one beyond comprehension right now, because he's punting into the wind.
Jamison standing back at his own 5 here to punt this one away with 26 seconds to go in the 3rd. Bulldogs come with some light pressure. This kick a little bit shorter is going to drop.
That's probably his worst one of the
Lake Erie side of the field, and the Storm will pick it up right at the 40-yard line, so it'll be Ferris State football.
Good decision, Coach Anise. I mean, that was I don't know if he could have predicted it, but we do have a flag.
So we'll wait and see. We got another flag back there.
That's right by the punter.
So we'll wait and see if that's on Ferris State or what this one may be. They're coming to the Ferris State sideline, it looks like. So maybe another holding type penalty here against Lake Erie. We'll see if Coach Anise makes him punt it again.
Let's see. That worked a few seconds off the clock here, so the clock's down to 18 seconds, and it is another holding.
That 10-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play.
So they will add 10 yards to the end of the play. So the Bulldogs are going to get it at the 30-yard line here of Lake Erie.
I thought they were trying to wear down the punter and see if they can make him punt it again, but they got a really great punt and then maybe probably his worst punt of the night. So they say, you know what, we'll just take the yards on the end of the run and we'll just go from here. Great field position by the Bulldogs, 1st and 10 from the Lake Erie 30.
So the Bulldogs will start here from the right side hash as they line up with trips to the left side over on the wide side of the formation. Lake Erie in a four-man front as the Bulldogs will send a man in motion. Carter keeps it left side, looking to throw. Downfield and incomplete. Had a man streaking deep, kind of threw it underneath short and incomplete.
Yeah, not sure who he was going to there. Maybe he was thinking about possibly trying to tuck it under, get around the corner and run, but ball a little bit high there as it ended up on the sideline.
A.J. Polly, Elmer Jakupovic in there on the offensive line as the Bulldogs have went deep into that offensive line. They've really played some solid football here tonight.
They really have. I think Coach Parker got to be pretty happy with the way his offensive line has really stepped forward here today.
Carter will give it off here up the middle. Good hard run here by Kobe as he gets it down to the 26 or 27 yard line, and looks like that may do it for our third quarter of action. After 3 periods, it's Ferris State leading it 49-3. We'll be back with the final quarter in 60 seconds right here on the Bulldog Sports Network in Sunny 97.3.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you to start the fourth and final quarter. 49-3, the Bulldogs lead it here as Carter will keep it up
Great
the
cutback.
middle, breaks the tackle. Carter with another cut.
Fumble.
Ball pops loose, and Lake Erie's going to pick it up here down around the 10-yard line.
Boy, he took a big hit right there.
Made a nice move, ended up with first down yardage, but it was popped loose, and the Storm are going to get it here on the Bulldog turnover.
So the Bulldogs, after 3 quarters, 545 yards of total offense to 72 for Lake Erie. And the Bulldogs continuing to just pile it on offensively, although they have had some turnovers as they have gone a little bit deeper into the depth chart here, but game well in hand.
So Lake Erie will start back at its own end again. Here is the Storm facing this Ferris State defense, and it looks like they finally, believe, made a change at quarterback as we try to get the numbers of the Lake Erie quarterback out there. Short gain pickup here as the Storm get a little bit of yardage here on the ground.
Number 12, Keith Capoto on the carry.
And it looks like Martin may be the quarterback here for the Storm.
I believe that's number 18, Renty Martin.
Actually might be wearing number 16 here. I think it's Alec Lewis.
Could be. Kind of hard to tell. It's kind of a scrunched number there.
I think it is Lewis who is listed on their travel roster.
No, I think you're right.
Tripp's right side here is he'll keep it himself here up the middle, and nothing doing here as the Bulldogs close down the gap.
Yep, you can see the 16 on the back of the jersey. It's a little bit easier to read.
So it'll be third and call it about 3 or 4 yards to come here for Lake Erie.
So the Storm trying to see if they can get something generated here as we might have 2 quarterbacks in right now. Renty Martin is in there, but looks like they're playing him at receiver.
Bring up a 3rd and 4.
Well, who knows? I mean, unless they did some jersey, might have shuffled some jerseys.
They did have some number changes as of this morning, so
yeah, you're right.
Going on the road for the first time, had to mix up some numbers just to get the guys in the right uniform sizes. Back to throw is Lewis across the middle, short throw here, and a good open field tackle for the Bulldogs at the 20. That'll prevent the first down here as Ferris State comes up with the defensive stop.
You're right. Number 18 is actually Emmanuel Sims, sophomore tight end, so they were not trying to go to some trickery right there with a couple different quarterbacks, so that's that lineup change right there.
I believe that was Dwight Bush on the tackle here for Ferris State, making the stop from the defensive backfield. as we're well into all the duplicate numbers here on the Ferris State roster tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's the era of duplicate numbers continues.
In some cases, the Bulldogs may be on a third person
Triplicate.
wearing a jersey number here this evening.
Especially if you get into some of those freshmen here. Bulldogs it's like warming up another quarterback here maybe on the sideline.
Jamison lost the handle, but able to pick it up and got
Wow,
off a
there's another
good
one.
one. Here's Lee, though, on the return. He's got some space to the 50, to the 40. Lee turns inside and goes down at the Lake Erie 36-yard line.
The only thing about that punt is that no hang time came right there, and Lee was able to catch that one and survey the field. He just had to make that first guy miss.
So Bulldog offense will march back out here as we'll wait and see how the Bulldogs elect to play this. Looks like they have made yet another change at quarterback, and I believe LaShawn Mumpfield might be the man coming on here for Ferris State. We saw a little bit of him last year as a true freshman who played in a few games out of Detroit Cass Tech.
Now, he is not a big dude, but he is fast.
He'll get the offense set here, trips right side with one man to the left here for Ferris State offensively. As the Bulldogs will send a man in motion. Back to throw, though, here on first play. He's got a man downfield. Darian Kruja. And it's knocked loose right at the goal line. Did they call it a catch? They're going to call it incomplete.
Boy, that ball was right on the money, too.
He went to Kruja, a guy that's been around this program for a long time. Kind of a valuable leader here for the Bulldogs, seeing some action on special teams and almost made a big catch in the receiving game.
Boy, he really did, as Mumpfield put that one right on the money. Mumpfield at about 5'10". That might be a little generous, but he put that one right on the money.
So he'll walk up to the line. He'll back away again here for Ferris State as Bulldogs work out of the shotgun set. Man right side, I believe that's Henry. He's got to keep it, though, on the fake, and he'll get it down to the 31. Lake Erie saying the ball popped loose. We'll wait and see. I thought he was down this time.
Looks like the umpire's calling it down, so Mumpfield comes up with it, so not sure what they were talking about.
So that break here for the Bulldogs. Keep it at third and about 5 yards or so to go here for Ferris State.
Well, this will be an interesting play call because Mumpfield can be electrifying. You get him out in the open field.
From Detroit Cass Tech, of course, the Bulldogs had a great quarterback from Cass Tech and J. Rue Campbell back in 2018-2019 that won the Harlan Hill Trophy.
What a player he was for the Bulldogs.
Out of the gun, man in motion here as he drops back to throw, has all kinds of time, dancing in the pocket, still on his feet, finds a man and hauled in. The Bulldogs down inside the 10, trying to get to the end zone.
Deshaun get it. Oh, I thought he got his first touchdown pass. Oh, they're going to call him. They're going to mark him just short.
Just short on the far side. Man. I think it was McKenzie on the catch.
Where is this marked at? How did that not get in?
McKenzie made the catch on the move, got to the sideline, and knocked out of bounds. I believe they're going to call him out at about the 3.
Well, it looked like he got closer than that, but they're going to mark him out at the 3 here as we look at the replay. Boy, Mumpfield just so elusive there in the backfield. As looking at the play right there, block. Yeah, he probably did go out at about the 3.
He was able to keep the play alive right there for the Bulldogs in the pocket here as Ferris State will line up, man, left side of him. Here in the backfield, the Bulldogs right up the middle. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Just lined up straight power right there off that left side as James making his way into the end zone.
Kobe with the touchdown here for Ferris State with 10:56 to play. Puts it at 55-3. As it's nice to see those Bulldog reserves find a way to get into the end zone.
Yeah, they have. And Bulldogs have gone a little bit deeper into the quarterback roster, obviously with the injury to Carson. And young players looking pretty promising.
Bulldogs running the special teams personnel in. Here is Middleton. Will kick for Ferris State. I think a new holder out there. As Rose had the sweatshirt on, unless he took it off here for the Bulldogs.
Well, that's not Brady Rose, I can tell you that.
The extra point is on the way. It's up and good. As the Bulldogs make it 56-3.
Great job there by the Bulldogs. And I'm sure, was that Justin Pale that was holding? I don't know. Hard to tell. But anyway, great job by the Bulldogs to finish that drive off.
Ferris State in control.
Oh, it was Chambliss.
It was Chambliss, the backup holder right there for Ferris State that came on to hold. Maybe they thought his night was done, but he's got a hold for Ferris State.
He's got a hold. That's a relatively safe way to get back out on the field. Generally don't have to worry about too much contact.
Bulldog football right here on Sunny 97.3 and the Bulldog Sports Network along with Flow Sports. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here tonight from Top Taggart Field. Home opener for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be a much better feeling here tonight than we had last week down in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Yeah, that was certainly not a night that the Bulldogs want to remember here for very long. And I think this game is very cleansing for a lot of these players to get that out of their system and try to move forward, knowing that there's still a lot of talent on this team and a lot of opportunity to achieve really all the goals that the Bulldogs had before them.
Of course, one spot that wasn't so bright here tonight was the injury to Carson Golker. We'll have to check his status once this one's all said and done, but we wish him all the best here as the Bulldogs will kick it away. This one's going to be fielded back inside the 15. Fair catch called for. And Lake Erie will come out with another offensive possession.
You can see the Bulldogs continuing to use a lot of that depth here as defensive unit working its way onto the field here, and Bulldogs trying to continue to work that clock down.
They've had to make a couple jersey changes as well. Royce Doherty out there, believe wearing the number 70 jersey for Ferris State as he has shifted numbers here for the Bulldogs. That memo came at halftime, so Bulldogs having to make some uniform changes here even during the course of the game.
There's no end to uniform changes.
So Lake Erie will start here in its own end as the Storm will snap it off, give it off on the ground, bouncing back near side and tripped up on the play. Here as the Bulldogs make the hit in the offensive backfield.
Keep Capoto on the carry, not doing much. Going to be
I
second
believe
and
from the near side, Ferris State continuing to work some depth. Might have been Ralph Carter. He's number 10, but I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know that. Yeah. Was that 10? I think it was 18, actually.
You may be correct here. Tough to read these numbers here under the dark skies with as far as the Bulldogs have went in the rotation.
Jean-Pierre, I think it was.
I think that was Mervin's that made the stop right there for Ferris State. As Lake Erie here on 2nd and long with 10:15 to play. Gonna throw it back to the near side. Catch hauled in here on the near side and then wrestled out of bounds. As the Storm gonna pick up the first down here. Catch made by Tyrone Lindsay here for Lake Erie.
Nice job on the out pattern, just trying to give their players a chance to catch the ball in space. Lake Erie is really, and you mentioned it a little bit ago, they've really tried to work that running game a little bit, well, quite a bit actually through most of the 3 quarters of this game. And now they're looking at a little bit more of a passing game here, maybe trying to mix it up here and maybe see what they got ahead of next week. Nice cutback.
Lewis going to give it off here on the carry here, and another first down pickup out near midfield as Capoto was on the carry here for the Storm.
Tackle made by number 20 of the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs still trying to keep this clock moving as Lake Erie that time putting the ball back on the ground here is not sure what they're working on here, but getting their instructions here and still plenty of time on the play clock.
Ferris State football presented by Three Girls Bakery, thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings and Lake Osceola State Bank for their support of Ferris State athletics. Lewis will hand off here. Capoto again, left side, nowhere to go.
Great tackle.
As the Bulldogs make the stop here, and I think that was Jean-Pierre again.
Brought down in the backfield by number 10, Ralph Carter.
Actually, they're calling Carter here on the public address system, but
you know what? It looks like 10 on the front of the jersey, but it is Jean-Pierre.
It is him. I knew it wasn't Carter.
That's not Ralph Carter.
Carter's a little bit bigger than that.
He probably thinks he's that quick, though. But, yeah, he is a little bit bigger than that.
Second and call at 12 to go here from the Lake Erie 47. 8:30 to play here in the ball game tonight here in Big Rapids. As Lewis works out of the shotgun set, trips right side here with one man to the left in the 4 receiver set. Bulldogs coming with the blitz from the outside. He throws it complete here into Bulldog territory and very close to a first down as the catch is made here on the near side as it was hauled in by Emmanuel Sims, the tight end.
We're going to mark him a couple yards short, so 3rd and 2, big 3rd and 2 conversion coming up here for the Storm as they would love to get another score on the board here. And, I mean, they're looking for positives to take into next week's game against Post.
Ferris State with 4 down linemen right there at the line of scrimmage here on 3rd and call it 2 to go here for Lake Erie. As the Storm going to give it off to Capoto. Nice cutback move here, and he's going to pick up the first down here to the 40-yard line.
He took a big hit there in the back, but fortunately for him, able to lean forward for that first down.
Bulldogs rotating a number of guys in still here on both sides of the football, as they have got a lot of young guys out there right now here, and a chance to get some guys some quality playing time in a game like this.
Yeah, this is valuable experience for some of these young guys, and so yeah, that defensive staff and Coach Caserta and Coach Smith and Coach Hodges, Coach Anise Jr.
Hand off to Capoto here to the near side, and the Bulldogs run him out here on the short side, as he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it here on the near sideline.
Yeah, Bulldogs did a good job of swarming to the football right there and running him out of bounds.
Peyton Hughes coming up from the defensive secondary to help out right there for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have a true freshman out there in Ryan Ahern, linebacker, brother of Zach Ahern, who I don't believe we saw here tonight for the Bulldogs. Had a couple carries last week in the loss at Pittsburgh State out of the offensive backfield.
Shout out to the Ahern family from Rockford. And did a good job out there in the tailgate area. I know they're proud of their boys.
4 receiver set here with trips left side on the wide side. Lewis to throw, looking over the top near side, and Ahern was right there. He was the closest man to that football as it was overthrown.
Well, he had a nose for that ball, too, and he was trying to track that one down all the way to the sideline.
Ferris State here with another change up front here, as Ruffin will come back on, or maybe that's Marquise Jones coming back in here for the Bulldogs. So Ferris State up front on that defensive line has played a lot of guys here this evening.
They really have, and I mean, you know, we talked about that expanded roster at home, and Bulldogs taking advantage of it right now, and it's benefiting the Bulldogs right now.
Man back in motion here on the near side is Lake Erie. Lewis over the top and through the hands of his intended target. He had a step.
Yeah,
if he could have hauled it in, Lindsey could not make the grab.
Yeah, he should have grabbed it, but that ball had some smoke on it.
4th down coming up here, and the Storm.
Coaching staff saying stay out there.
Storm's probably going to leave the offense out there here. 4th and 10 from the Bulldog 40.
Punt doesn't do you any good right now.
6:17 to go here in the contest. As we look down at the Ferris State sideline, you've got guys like Coach Hodges, Tony Anise Jr. and Tesla Smith. They're still calling out the signals like they would if the game was 0-0.
You better believe it. Those guys, that staff does not quit. They really embody that spirit of Coach Hodges.
Trips left side here as Lewis surveys the 4-man front. Blitz coming here. Ball thrown back near side and well short as Lindsey was running deep. The pass came short, and the Bulldogs are going to hold here on down.
Yeah, Bulldogs very aggressive defensively. Coach Hodges bringing the blitz, the pressure. Lake Erie actually did a pretty decent job of picking it up, but still rushed, and not a receiver right there to really make a legitimate chance at a play.
Ferris State's offense will come back out. Braden Childress coming out at tight end here for Ferris State. So Bulldogs maybe going with a little bit different look. They get some new guys in here in the backfield as well. Kevell Cooper, another freshman coming on, I believe, at running back here for Ferris State.
Bulldogs working a lot of bodies in here. And we talked about it, some young players that were going to get some playing time here tonight if the Bulldogs handled business like they were expected to.
Quarterback is Jack Sherholtz, I believe, here for the Bulldogs. And here comes Cooper.
Face mask.
That should have been a face mask. Did not get blown.
Nope,
now it did. Here as he gets to midfield, he had some speed here to the near side.
Yeah, he, looked really explosive right there.
Sherholtz at quarterback here on this series. The transfer from Marshall University joined the Bulldogs here this past spring.
There's no foul on.
Are you kidding me?
All blocks were legal.
What?
They're going to wave that one off. So.
Well, the blocks were legal, but what about the face mask? I'll concede that he's right that the blocks were legal. Whatever.
It was on the near sideline, so maybe the official not quite in position, but nonetheless.
Apparently not, but whatever.
It'll be 1st down and 10.
Whatever. We got a 53-point lead, I guess.
Inside of 6 minutes left, Sherholtz able to complete the pass to the outside. Good turn upfield here. And the Bulldogs pick up another 1st down as the catch is made over there on that far sideline here for the Bulldogs.
Great job there. High percentage pass. You want to get your young quarterbacks, you want to get them some confidence. So high completion percentage passes.
I believe that was Kevin Sims on the reception over on that far sideline. Another true freshman here for Ferris State out there offensively.
Yeah, Bulldogs really deep in the quarterback depth chart here.
Sherholtz gets set here as he's got a man left side. Cooper with it on the handoff straight up the middle, and he's got great surge off the right side.
Boy, he is explosive there. And you mentioned it, great surge. That's a great point, Rob. Great surge, especially by that right side of the Bulldog offensive line.
Cooper maybe trying to make a name for himself in the offensive backfield with that quickness. The Bulldogs already pretty solid at running back this year.
Well, he's trying to make his statement right now. He is incredibly explosive here.
We're inside of 5 minutes left. Ferris State, we've seen a host of names at running back here through 2 games as they try to really get that ground game established. Of course, last year, or past couple of years, have had to rely maybe more so on the quarterbacks in the slots, trying to get more of a traditional running game going. We haven't even seen Zamir Knight yet this year.
That's exactly. I think when you look at the Bulldogs, adding Cannon Cancer to the lineup has been huge. I think James Colby has really stepped his game up, and he's looking better and better. So the Bulldogs feel like they have some depth back there. And I think not only do they have some depth, but I think they have confidence to be able to run that more traditional running game. And I mean, with the injury to Carson Gulker, Rob, you got to really take care of Trinidad Chambliss right now.
Second and call at about 4 yards to go here is Ferris State on the move again here offensively. They'll run the sweep here to the near side and trying to turn upfield here around the edge. The Bulldogs able to do so. And it's going to be another first down pickup here for Ferris State.
That's a great job right there. Bulldogs kind of reaching back into the old playbook right there with the sweep, with the slot sweep.
That was Sims again here on the carry around the near side as Bulldogs move the chains here inside of 5 minutes remaining. Jake Price, I believe, just came on here in the offensive backfield for Ferris State.
So Bulldogs going to a tight end right there, Braden Childerson.
Ferris State power look here to the right side of the formation. Shearholt's got to give it off here up the middle. And the Bulldogs get it down to about the 15-yard line here on the carry.
Yeah, that was a great block on the outside on that right side by Braden Childress here. He's got a Lake Erie player a little slow getting up. Now he finally gets up.
Hopefully he's going to be all right here. A little stinger right there here with 4:09 remaining. We'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show for you when this one's all said and done right here at Top Taggart Field.
We'll bring up a 2nd and 3.
So Bulldogs right now, a little bit of a timeout right here is dealing with the injured player right there. Officials did blow the whistle for an injury here. Bulldogs continuing to make some substitutions right here as they are mixing up the personnel. Coach Anise taking this opportunity to talk to some of his young players that are on the field right now. And the coaching never stops for Coach Tony Anise and his staff. I mean, he is constantly pushing his guys to learn and to get better.
So Ferris State comes back out here as the Bulldogs with some new personnel in the offensive backfield and trying to get these numbers straight here. I think a couple guys have changed some uniforms on us here. As I believe the quarterback might be Wyatt Bauer, a true freshman here, wearing 27 here for Ferris State. So
take whatever number you can get when you're a true freshman coming in. False start. Right side.
That will be called here against Ferris State.
So Bulldogs right now just continue to work some players in. You mentioned Bauer coming in and getting his opportunity right here as the Bulldogs have really gone deep into that lineup here and trying to get some of these young guys some exposure right here. Again, you got those 3 games where you can get these young players out here and get a chance to see what they can do and get a chance for the coaching staff to get some film on some of these young guys. So let's see where this ends up going right now as the Bulldogs trying to salt this one away here as the run comes along the left side, putting the shoulder down and running him out of bounds, but a solid gain off that left side as the Bulldogs continuing to run that football and trying to put this one away. Is great job again as but the penalty flag, and the penalty flag did come down right there just inside the 20-yard line. So all for naught as the Bulldogs will walk it back. But
so it looks like some changes were made for Ferris State, some jersey changes. Wyatt Bauer wearing number 27, and I think Jake Price is wearing 7, so those two flip-flopped over our initial freshman list that was submitted.
There you go. So hopefully the fans understand that we were trying to figure out those numbers too, but you made a good call on Bauer.
Change made somewhere here as the Bulldogs will give it off of the sweep to the far side of the field on 2nd and long, and a short gain over there on that far end.
Under 3 minutes to go here as Bulldogs probably just content to Well, not probably. The Bulldogs are content, really, for the most part, to just continue to move that football down the field.
Clint Smith, another freshman here for Ferris State on the sweep to the right side. It'll be 3rd and long here with 2:40 to play. The Bulldogs trying to run this clock out here after what's going to be a nice home win. For ticket scores, merchandise, video, and more, be sure to log on to FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Out of the gun, Bauer at quarterback here for Ferris State. Running the option here to the near side. Late pitch here to Cooper. He's got some speed here around the edge. And he gets some good yardage down inside the 20 to the 19.
Boy, he was so close to turning that corner and getting upfield. And, boy, with that speed right there, if you see his shoulder, it won't be long before you see his back. And if you see his back, he might be headed to the end zone.
So Ferris State now 4th down coming up here for the Bulldogs and short. 4th and about 2. Maybe 1 or 2 here for the Bulldogs. They can pick up this first down and really salt it away here with 2:05 to play. We do have the 2-minute warning or the 2-minute timeout, and it's going to come right now. So final 2-minute timeout here in the 4th quarter. We'll be back with the finish in 60 seconds right here on Sunny 97.3 in the Bulldog Sports Network.
When was the last time you had
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog football coverage. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as Cooper gets it. He's going to be smothered, and the Bulldogs are not going to pick up the first down, and the Bulldog defense will have to come back out here another time.
Yeah, I think the timing was just a little bit off right there, as Bulldogs weren't quite able to get that surge that they were looking for. Great play by Lake Erie to get in the backfield, just not much of a chance for that play to be successful.
So the Bulldog defense will come back out here as Ferris State tries to finish off the Lake Erie Storm, leading at 56-3 with 1:57 to play here in the ballgame.
So Bulldogs right now just trying to put this one away. Under 2 minutes to go and get off this field and get back to the locker room here. Bulldogs getting ready to pick up their first win of the season.
Lewis out of the gun here with a man right side. First down and 10 here for Lake Erie. They'll just keep it on the ground. Capoto with it, nothing to do. And
great
as
play.
He's knocked down for a loss here in the offensive backfield.
Bulldogs getting some contributions here from a lot of different players, and this is good for the Bulldogs to get some film on some of these young guys.
I believe that was Jaden Eddington, a freshman from Corunna for Ferris State. Of course, Bauer from Corunna as well. That's the hometown of Coach Anise.
Oh, yeah. That's some nice gets right there as the Anise name well known there.
2nd and 10 here with 1:21 to play here in the contest as Lewis will work out of the gun. 2nd and long. Back to throw, screen to the outside and able to hook up with his man, but could not stay in bounds after the short game.
Yeah. Wanted them to be able to stay in bounds, but let's see. Bulldogs, again, as you mentioned, would love to have kept them in bounds, but, you know, it is what it is, and victory still in hand. Bulldogs just trying to work down this last 1:11.
1:11 remaining here in the contest as Ferris State gets set here defensively. The Bulldog defense hasn't been tested a whole lot here this evening.
No, but part of it is they've set the tone. They really set the tone right off the bat, and a real carryover from last week's Week 0 game. Great grab.
Here's a big catch here, and they'll get it out near midfield. You know, Coach Hodges wants to keep it at 3 points on the scoreboard, but Lake Erie approaching midfield after a big reception.
They got 104, so they'll get a little bit of a break while the chains are set, but they're right back ready to go here. They're trying to build on that. You just mentioned Coach Hodges. He doesn't want to see any more points on that board.
Burris on the catch here for Lake Erie as they move back up quickly. 55 seconds to go. Back to throw. Lewis stands up in the pocket. Now he's going to move, fake the throw, and then takes a knee here as took an awkward tumble, but picks up a couple yards.
He did that. Did not look super pretty, but it was safe, and he was able to get down and live to play another down.
So third and, call it second and 7. Second and 7 here with 33 seconds left. So
if they're gonna score, they need a chunk play here at some point. They need a big play.
Bulldogs coming with the blitz. They're bringing the pressure, but they pick it up nicely. And the receiver not able to turn back to the ball. Lewis had to get rid of it quickly, and now will be third and long.
Well, you mentioned it, Rob. Bulldogs brought the blitz, and they did a good job of kind of chipping that blitzer coming in off the left side of their offensive line, and that gave the quarterback just enough time to get that ball off, but still felt incomplete.
20 seconds to go here as Ferris State finishes off its first win of the season here at Top Taggart Field. 56-3 our score. We'll have the Preferred Office Machines postgame show on the Bulldog Sports Network. It's sunny. 97.3 when this one is all said and done. Lewis in the gun, pressure coming again here as he gives it off of the ground.
Great play.
A run blitz right there for Ferris State, and the Bulldogs shut it down.
Very disciplined. You called it. Run blitz. Bulldogs stayed in their lanes and made a nice tackle right there. Gang tackle.
Bulldogs starting to head to the sideline.
That's going to do it.
That looks like that will do it here at Top Taggart Field. Ferris State wins it 56-3 over Lake Erie. Huge start and a tremendous performance here in front of the home fans tonight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great bounce back, and the only sad part is the loss, the injury to Carson Gulker, but otherwise a great night for Bulldog football, debuting their home schedule here at Top Taggart with a dominating win.
Ferris State gets the win over Lake Erie, 56-3. The final score is the Bulldogs will play host to the Ashland Eagles. Big matchup next Saturday night right here at Top Taggart Field that could have some playoff implications on the line right here in Big Rapids. Ferris State, though, took control early, dominated the first quarter and the first half, en route to the win here tonight.
Yeah, they really set the tone right off the bat. Lake Erie won the toss. They gave the ball to Ferris, and, boy, Trinidad Chambliss moved him down there like he was born to play that position, and then that was it. That set the tone, and it was all Bulldogs.
Ferris State gets the huge win here tonight. We'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show coming up when this one is all said and done, as the Bulldogs will get ready to face Ashland. Bigger test next week here for this Ferris State football team.
Yeah, the competition is going to take a step up, maybe a step and a half up next week. So the Bulldogs have to learn from this and continue to get better.
We'll have all the action for you again on Flow Sports next week with video coverage courtesy of Ferris State Television. That'll wrap up our TV broadcast here tonight from Top Taggart Field. We'll come back after this timeout with more of the Preferred Office Machines post-game show from right here in Big Rapids on the Bulldog Sports Network at Sunny 97.3. Back in 2 minutes with more Bulldog football coverage.
Big news, Big Rapids.
The Baker Auto Group is here.